at that point, I'm in Patron Platinum Club, and I didn't see anything. So did you see anything at all? Was he getting after the refs?
No, I didn't see. Mm-hmm. So whatever happened was not something that I was paying attention to. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think of what it could have been, and I'm not really sure.
You think sometimes refs just get a little bit too sensitive in their feelings, and then you can say the slightest of things, or you can have a true gripe and just say it, and automatically they just kind of go off on the hand, and
I don't know. I do think that there was a critical call in the game when Yakov Trenin was called for that kneeing penalty, and just me personally, I disagreed with the call. How Gill laid it out really detailed after the game. Of course, we've had a chance to slow it down at that point. It happened so fast. I could see what the ref saw, but, I have no idea if that's what led to whatever took place or not. Could have been in the hallway. It could have been. But I did see John Hines was late to leave the bench. Just now that I think about it, the team had gone down the tunnel, back to the locker room. He was on the bench. I don't know if he was just trying to get the attention of the ref or venting or what. He was just a little bit late to leave the bench. But what he said or anything like that, I don't know.
So you can get fined $25,000 for saying something.
I don't know what it is.
Deemed.
There was a fine. We'll ask Elliot about this at 1:00. There was a fine given to, of all people, we're headed to Raleigh today. Rod Brindamore got fined for something he said on the bench, and a lot of people were wondering. It was during the game. People were wondering what did he do? What did he say? Because you don't. It's not like in basketball where you get teed up.
Exactly.
You don't. It doesn't work that way. So whatever they caught on camera or whatever after the fact is when they slap you with the fine.
So they go back
they're trying
and they
to get
listen to things and then fine guys?
I think so.
That makes no sense.
It's
I can
really
see
weird.
if you catch him in the act, like
it
right
is
then
different.
and there. Yeah,
I think it's something, according to Elliot, something I heard him say earlier when this happened to Brindamore. This was towards the beginning of the season. There was a meeting basically telling the coaches, we need you to take it down a notch in your arguing with the referees. It's so ironic that the game was against the Capitals because the guy that I see wear out the refs more than any other coach is Peter Laviolette. He's a guy that absolutely gives it to the referees. So they might have had him in mind when they made this rule. And John Hines really is not a hothead during the games at all. He's much more reserved than I think any of his predecessors, Peter Laviolette or Barry Trotz. Barry Trotz gets after the refs pretty hard when he goes after it. When he decides to do it, he gets after it.
Yeah, but he's got to be poked and prodded. I mean, at least here. He was pretty calm. People complained. Like, we'd laugh, right? Like, why doesn't our coach ever go nuts? Why doesn't Barry ever go nuts? It's like,
he went nuts.
Yeah, he did, but he was here 17 years, Willie. Of course, at some point he's going to go nuts.
Well,
the
17 years, yeah, you're going to go nuts.
Well, let's just put it that way. It wasn't a problem.
So.
Nobody ever said that about Peter Laviolette. He needs to get emotional on the bench.
Nobody said that about him.
Yeah.
Nate Oates, by the way, I was watching the Alabama game last night before the Vandy-Auburn game. He got tossed pretty early in the second half, and I don't know if you guys watched it. He had enough. He got teed up.
Yeah,
and he just kept. I mean,
the game was up for grabs at the time.
Yes. I mean, it's midway through the second half, and all of a sudden they show him. He's like, "Well, do it then. Well, do it then.
Yeah,
do it then.
Go ahead.
Go ahead." And then finally he came over and was like, "You're out of here."
All right, okay. It was like Gene Hackman and Hoosiers.
Yeah.
I want you to throw me out of the game.
Well, but Gene Hackman was like, "Hey, okay,
yeah.
I'm going to go crazy. You're going to throw me out of the game, and I'm going to go crazy." Okay, whatever, coach. You're gone, And then he's like, "What?" No, Nate Oates was literally there showing him. He's like, "Go ahead then. Go ahead. Do it. Well, do it then."
He's like, "All right."
He's like, "All right, you're gone.
You're gone."
I was like, okay, man, that's gutsy.
It seemed to do the trick because his team pulled away at the end.
Yeah, and they were down. They were down like 5 or 3 or 5, midway through the second half, and he gets tossed. I'm like, wow, okay.
Man.
I guess you're looking for that. I guess you had enough, or you were looking for something to get them going. I don't know, but I was cracking up when because they were just. I mean, they had the cameras dead on him. He's like on one knee, and he's just like screaming that out at the ref. Go ahead, then. Do it. Do it. I wonder if he said, I dare you. I dare you.
I double dog dare you.
You're scared, chicken. Do it, chicken. All right, you're gone. That's enough. By the way, on our text line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, let's see, Tommy from Shelbyville says, Steve Mace, it's not 10-2 anymore. It's 9-3 due to airbags.
So,
due to airbags. Okay.
Okay. So I need
good to know.
Well, I took my driver's test,
I need to adjust my clock, right?
30 years ago? Yeah. I took my driver's test.
They've adjusted the times on us.
Almost 30 years ago, I guess.
Everybody adjusts the clock on your wheel.
Yeah.
Yeah. The car I took the driver's test on did not have airbags. I can tell you that.
No, mine definitely didn't have airbags.
And it had the lap seat belt.
Oh, yes. Yes. Hey, I don't think mine had an FM radio.
I was going to say, my car, I had to take my hand off the steering wheel to roll down the window, so I know it didn't have airbags. All right, we'll come back. We'll talk with Eric Young. We'll tell you what he's got up his sleeve next week before the Stadium Series game. We'll do that next here on ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Sometimes their glass is half full.
That was unbelievable. It was the best NFL draft they've ever had.
Sometimes glass half empty.
What are we getting ourselves into here? Tough game.
And sometimes it's all about the numbers.
One win, and they've gone on this streak, and now they're at 500.
Hang out with Darren, Daunic, and Chase from 10 to 2 during your workday. Presented by Curacion CBD on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app. Watch live on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube.
The 2022 SEC Women's Basketball Tournament is back in Nashville as Bridgestone Arena hosts the annual celebration of SEC's Women's Hoops March 2nd through the 6th. Join us and experience the bright lights of the Music City as we crown a champion. Tickets are on sale now, so contact your university ticket office or head to secsports.com. SEC Women's Basketball. It just means more.
President's Day is here, and that means huge savings at Electronic Express. You'll find great deals in every department, including all 4K TVs, laptops, tablets, speakers, headphones, mattresses, and more. Don't forget, we have up to 50% off all your appliance needs, in stock and ready to deliver. Plus, buy now, pay later with up to 36 months free financing. Shop the President's Day sales event at Electronic Express. We make it happen.
Hey guys, it's Mike from Newton Ford. Can you feel that? Love is in the air. Maybe it's love for your significant other. Maybe it's love for Rome, your Bernese mountain dog. Maybe it's just love for chocolate. Wherever that love falls, this is the time to take it all in. But maybe take less of the chocolate in. So now that all the mushy stuff is out of the way, I'm going to tell you what we love. We love to help you. We love helping you find a new car when you need one. We love helping you keep your car running smooth with amazing service. We love partnering with you in the community to make a positive impact. Newton loves to help. We have a great selection of pre-loved vehicles on the lot for you right now. You can shop online and even start working your deal right now from your phone with Newton FastPass. Visit newtonford.com to shop or schedule service today. For the love of chocolate, see website for details.
Sheet Metal Workers Local 177 is looking for the next great skilled construction tradesman out there to join their apprenticeship program. If you're interested in commercial fabrication, ventilation systems, metal roofing, welding, and more, Smart Local 177 is the place for you. Get the extra training you need to excel in the career you've been waiting for. They offer great benefits, tuition-free, debt-free education, and job opportunities you can earn while you learn. Visit sheetmetal177.com or call 615-292-0587, an equal opportunity employer.
Shop today at Social Furniture during their President's Day sale. You'll find everything for your home on sale now, and they have same-day delivery. Use Social Furniture's financing plan and pay no interest for 1 full year. For a limited time, they have designer sofas, solid wood bedroom furniture, leather sofas, and sectionals in stock now. Social Furniture's President's Day sale going on now through President's Day. Visit Social Furniture on Charlotte Avenue in West Nashville. Shop local. Shop social. Social Furniture is a proud supporter of your Nashville Predators.
Hey, I'm Matthias Ekholm, and this is Smashville.
Ekholm, his shot, he scores! Matthias Ekholm gets the Predators' third of the night.
You're listening to the flagship of the Nashville Predators radio network, ESPN 1025, The Game.
If you've missed any of today's show, just search Darren, Daunic, and Chase on Apple, Spotify, or on your favorite podcast platform.
Back here on the DDC, here on this rainy Thursday. Remember, be cognizant of the weather this afternoon. Not sure what we're getting into, but it could get a little messy this afternoon. Darren McFarland, Willie Daunic, Derek Mason with you. Let's bring in Eric Young. We'll tell you what he's got up his sleeve the night before the big Stadium Series game, which, by the way, you realize we are, 9 days away?
Yeah,
9 days
exactly
away.
a week away from the Pecorine
Yes.
ceremony, and then 9 days from the Stadium Series game.
9
Let's hope we get
days
better weather that day.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
we got a
can't have
9-day
this crap in
forecast.
9 days.
Do we got a 9-day forecast?
That's a good question. What
to
is the
that
9-day
day?
forecast?
No, I think when they say the weather change, if you don't like the weather in Nashville, just check again a little bit later. So I don't think you can, we have any idea what 9 days is going to be like, but hopefully it's better than today. Eric, what's up?
What's going on, boys? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's been a while. How you been?
Yeah, I've been really good. I've got no tricks up my sleeve because I'm a wrestler and I don't wear sleeves.
That's a good point. That's a really good point.
I'm hoping Mother Nature gets all this crap out of her system. Look, at people in Nashville got too much to look forward to that weekend, and we need good weather.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And you're going to get the party started, I think, the night before. I saw the people that are going to be in appearance. Pretty cool list you gathered there. Tell everybody what's going on.
Yeah, so we did a kind of an impromptu one of these. It started as an idea of a place for me and my friends to get together on New Year's. Since living in Nashville, I've always had a New Year's party at my house, and we're going to be down in Dallas for the Winter Classic. And it's like, well, what do we do now? And so it started as a small get-together and turned out to be about 2,500 people at Brain Dead Brewery, all wearing Predators gear. We took over this bar in this whole area of downtown Dallas. It was amazing. So we're like, well, we got to blow it out and do it even bigger. So me, the Renegades of Puck, and a bunch of people have teamed up with Tailgate Brewery. We're going to be doing the hometown freakout. We're calling it home base freakout. Everybody's invited. We got, like you said, that poster that's going around on digital media right now. The guest list is crazy. We got Mace, we got Hal Gill, we got Mike Fisher, we got Bobby Ryan, we got Ryan Smith, we got Allie Lacombe, we got Teresa Walker, we've got maybe Greg Wyshynski. I think Willie Dees is going to make an appearance.
I will be there.
Kara Hammer, we're hoping, Lindsay Rowley. We're hoping that everybody in the hockey community. And I'm a Canadian. I grew up in Canada, spent 24 years there, moved to Nashville in 2004, and just absolutely fell in love with this city and fell in love with the sports community of this city. And anybody who knows, I played hockey my whole life. Wanted to be a hockey player. That's how I introduced myself to most people. Failed hockey player and professional wrestler. And we want to celebrate the amazing community that the Nashville Predators have helped to cultivate in this area. There's at any one time, there's 12 sheets of ice, 365 days a year, people playing hockey at all hours of the day, from young kids to 60-year-olds. And it's amazing. We want to celebrate that awesome community, and that's what we're going to do at the home base freakout on the 25th of February.
So Bobby Ryan lives here, right?
He does, yeah. He lives half of the year here and half the year in Idaho, I believe. I don't know what he's doing in Idaho, but, it makes sense here. The secret's out, unfortunately, that this is an amazing place to live, which is why the housing prices are insane. But, I'm definitely not an original, but I've been here since 2004. And anybody that comes here or lives here for, even a small amount of time, they figure out what I figured out in 2004, that this is an amazing place to live.
Yeah, maybe he's with fish. Maybe he's an outdoorsman. Maybe he's doing a little hunting, fishing. I don't know. I don't know what you're doing in Idaho for half the year. You got me.
Yeah, I don't
sleep.
I don't know either.
I don't know.
Look at the trees.
Look at the trees. Bird watch.
Not a bad pastime. Yeah.
No. Sleep. Get caught up on your sleep, I guess. I don't know. Ryan Smith, I know, is here as well. Does stuff with the junior Preds. It's pretty cool. I mean, it's just like anything. I mean, all the sports. I mean, it's just amazing. We've stopped being, like shocked or surprised the names you hear of people moving here. It's no different than the hockey community. Yeah. Constantly, big name hockey players are just. I mean, I remember the first time I learned Ryan Smith I was like, Ryan Smith lives in Nashville? What?
Yeah.
This was years ago. So yeah, right, exactly. And I was like, he lives in Nashville. What? But I think those days are gone. Again, just since we haven't talked to you in a while, and people listen, maybe they haven't heard you talk. Just your love for hockey. I mean, that has certainly always been there. And just how all that and just how much you've embraced the Predators over the years, for sure.
Yeah, when you're a young kid growing up in rural Canada, they don't give you much of a choice. There's not a whole lot else to do, and hockey was just such a massive part of my life growing up, and just thought about it and played at every turn I could get. If it wasn't pond hockey in the winter, it was roller hockey in the summer, and that's always stayed with me. And then moving here, this is the only time I've lived in an NHL city was in 2000, started in 2004. So, you guys know you could go downtown and buy a ticket for $10 and be in the lower bowl by the second period. And, I'm not saying I did that. I'm saying I know people that did. And, just was this growing thing that I wanted to be part of, and living here and playing open hockey and meeting a bunch of the players and doing stuff with the team. I've spoke at the prospects camp, which was insane. Pretty good buddies with Scotty Nickel, and I would go down to training camp every year and get to watch that. And it's just an unbelievable thing for me to experience as a diehard hockey fan, diehard Predators fan. Now I can live anywhere in the world because I fly for a living and travel for a living, but I choose here. I love it here. The community embraced me, and I feel I did that right back. And I do a bunch of stuff with the team, whether it's the bowling tournament or the golf tournament, Mike Fisher's clay pigeon shoot, and raise money for a bunch of really cool causes and get the word out on some really cool stuff. It's just been an amazing time for me, and the Predators have treated me very well, and I, in turn, I feel have tried to, treat them very well, and they're, just a really popular franchise, a great hockey franchise, and this is a destination for hockey fans to come here and win or lose, you pour out onto Broadway. Is there a better location for an arena? I don't think there is in the entire NHL. And it's just, I love hockey. I love the community of hockey and the people within it. And that's what we're celebrating at the Home Base Freakout, just the amazing people that make this community special.
The Home Base Freakout is all ages, 7 o'clock. It's the night before the Stadium Series game, so that's Friday night, a week from tomorrow. The Renegades of Puck Tailgate Brewery. That's going to be the place to go. No cover. ID is required, obviously, to get in there. So that's it's something that will be a great gathering the night before the big event here. Eric Young is with us, professional wrestler here. So, Eric, as you mentioned, you grew up in Canada. So who was your favorite team? I'm always curious. C. Mace grew up in Red Deer, Alberta, sort of between Edmonton and Calgary, but he was more of a Calgary Flames fan. But so what about you?
Yeah, so I grew up almost on the border of Detroit, Michigan, and Canada. Half of my friends growing up were Red Wings fans, and the other half were Maple Leafs fans. And so I was a Maple Leafs fan my whole life. They have not made it easy. Have yet to win a Stanley Cup since I've been alive. That's difficult. But I can remember being so emotionally invested in 1993, and Wayne Gretzky broke my heart. I will never forgive him. I will fist fight Wayne Gretzky if I ever see him in person. Or that stings. It sits deep. But yeah, I still follow them religiously. I coined myself a hockey cycle. I'll watch, because of technology, I'll watch anywhere from 200 to 300 games a year. I'll be in Scotland wrestling, and I set my alarm for 4 a.m. and get up and do cardio so I won't miss a game because I'm a crazy person. But yeah, I just love the sport. I liken it to pro wrestling in a lot of ways. It's you can't understand how cool it is until you see it live. Both products make most of their money by being on TV, and it is a television product. But in the end, you can't fully understand how good hockey is until you see it live. And I think that was the big trick for the Predators when they first got here was getting people in the building, and they did that. They set the bar for what a live game experience is. Vegas took that model and ran with it, and now they're killing it. But the Preds were the first to do that, and I can say as a guy from Canada and have friends that come and visit me all the time, and they go to a game and they're just completely blown away with how amazing it is, win, lose, or draw. Like, in the end, it doesn't matter. It's an experience, and that's what it should always be for that kind of money. People spending money to go to the game, whether they win or lose, you should have a good time and remember it regardless. But, yeah, grew up a Maple Leafs fan, love hockey, love all teams, love players, just love talking about it, thinking about it. Like I said, I'm a failed hockey player. That's what I wanted my life to be, and I'm a rotten hockey player, if we're being completely honest. I'm terrible at it, but I still love it and still play today.
Man, that's really, really cool. So, Eric, really looking forward to seeing you that night before on Friday. This is going to be a great event. And once again, we just want to let people know on behalf of the Renegades of Puck, who, by the way, they get after it. I mean, they are fun. You talk about people that love hockey like yourself, Eric. I mean, it's just great to talk hockey with those guys, about the team, about the game coming up. It's just going to be really cool. And then this great list of former players: Mace, Skilsey, Mike Fisher, Stu Grimson, Ryan Smith, as we mentioned, Bobby Ryan. So this is going to be really, really fun. No cover, 7 o'clock the night before the game at Tailgate Brewery.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing. I hope everyone comes. They are selling the hockey is for everyone, and that's what we're hoping to promote. And we want everyone there to just have a good time and mingle with some people that you've watched play or listen on the radio or whatever it is. There'll be people from all walks of life and all corners of hockey media and hockey players and hockey celebrities, and the NHL Network guys, Steve Mayer and Matt Hutchison might come by. I'm pretty good buddies with them, and I invited them again. The Spit and Chicklets boys, Ryan Whitney and R.A., are going to be in town. I invited them, and we'll see. They're a tricky bunch. They might be in there. We got a bunch of surprises as well, man. It's going to be an amazing night. I hope to see you guys all there.
Oh, it's going to be great. Eric, thanks a lot for joining us. Great stuff. And for more information, you can go to renegadesofpuck.com to get all the details of the party. But we'll see everybody there a week from Friday. Eric, thanks a lot for joining us today. All right, I guess we lost him. All right, let's take a break. When we come back, we will get into the show. D-Mace was taking a look at something that was going on FS1 there. We got to have to investigate this during the break about Mr. Brady. All right, stay tuned. We're coming back.
Every Thursday at 1 on Darren, Daunic, and Chase, we're joined by Sportsnet's Elliot Friedman for the best inside knowledge on the NHL. It's all brought to you by Bank of England Mortgage on ESPN 102.5 The Game. The National Wild Turkey Federation's 46th Annual Convention and Sports Show is February 16th through the 20th at Gaylord Opryland Resort and Convention Center. Celebrate a year of conservation success with the National Wild Turkey Federation members, volunteers, and partners. You can expect the same great nightly events, quality entertainment in the watering hole, and the latest gear from more than 350 companies featured in their exhibit hall. For more info, go to nwtf.org.
Your home value is way up. You can use that money now to pay off credit cards or remodel your house, or both. Hey, Willie Daunic for Loan Pronto. Loan Pronto can convert that home equity into cash as little as 2 weeks from now with no cost to you and zero hassle. Mike and Joan in Brentwood called Loan Pronto and they did a Loan Pronto zero cost cash out refi. They got a check for $100,000. They used $50,000 to pay off all of their credit cards and a car loan. Use the other $50K to upgrade their master bath and kitchen. They locked in a new APR in the 2s and lowered their total monthly bills by hundreds of dollars. Hello? What are you waiting on? Call Loan Pronto now and convert your home value into cash. Put that money to good use. Do it now, and you could even skip your next 2 house payments. Call 615-499-5780 or loanpronto.com. 615-499-5780 or lowpronto.com. Equal housing lender. NMLS 166-1781. Subject to lender approval. Not all loans apply.
QC Kinetics provided amazing pain relief for a former professional baseball player, and you have access to the same life-changing treatments as retired Braves pitcher Jose Alvarez.
I put a lot of stress and strain and work on my right arm, but my right elbow took most of the damage with 3 surgeries.
Arthritis developed, and the pain was unbearable.
It wasn't just pain when I was trying to play sports. It was anytime I was moving the right elbow. It was pretty excruciating at times.
That's when Jose discovered QC Kinetics and the regenerative treatments that help the body heal itself, restoring damaged tissue and providing relief with no surgery or downtime. Jose's message to the medical professionals at QC Kinetics?
My elbow is feeling outstanding. Where were you 10 years ago, for crying out loud?
QC Kinetics is right here. Call for your complimentary consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 615-249-4024. That's 615-249-4024. QC Kinetics, 615-249-4024.
Hey, Darren McFarland here, and I want to talk to you about my friends at Creation CBD. You hear me talk about them every single day because they present Darren, Daunic, and Chase, and we are proud to be associated with them and happy about it. And if you have aches and pains, on your body, whether it's from working out, being active, getting older, and you're looking for a solution, well, I've got it. Creation CBD. Creation means healing, and that says a lot. Creation is locally and organically sourced CBD products right here in Middle Tennessee. From seed to final sale, Creation is passionate about providing quality products for everyday use, including your pets. And you've heard me tell this story. Our female German Shepherd has had seizures for over 3 years, and lots of them. No matter how many pills a day she was on, the vet visits, nothing changed. But since putting her on the pet tincture, everything has changed. The seizures have stopped, she's lost weight, and she's a dog again. Right now, Creation CBD has got a special offer for DDC listeners. Go to CreationCompany.com, get 25% off your order by using the code DDC25 at checkout. DDC25 at checkout for 25% off your Creation CBD products. It's Creation CBD, curated for life.
Tonight.
No good by Sims. Cleaned up, though, underneath by Buffer.
The Blue Raiders of MTSU hit the road to take on FIU. Coverage begins at 5:30
on ESPN
94.9 and the Game Nashville app.
Hey, it's ESPN NFL analyst Tim Hasselbeck on Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Back here on the DDC, our show presented by Creation CBD, products curated for life on this Thursday. So what were you guys seeing on FS1?
Well, I guess what is being thrown around and speculated now is that Tom Brady was sort of forced into retirement. And, whether it be from his family or the contract situation with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, because obviously they still hold his rights, and they can release him after June 1st to save some money under the cap, or they can put him on the reserve retired list to save them money. But a few people in his camp or around him believes that if he does come back, he wants to come back, it'll be with another team. So I guess the Brady saga is not over with.
I disagree, though. I think it is. I think this is a whole lot to do about nothing.
I just, for some reason, because to me, he's one guy that, and I've seen a lot, we all have seen a lot of guys retired, and we seen a lot of guys say, you know what, good job, you needed to retire. Even in my situation, mentally I was just done. Physically, could I play? Yes, but mentally I was done, and I knew it. I didn't want to go back. I just think Tom he played at such a high level last year, and the way they lost, and he knew that franchise was going to be in cap situation. I wouldn't be surprised if he does come back. I wouldn't be, because I think he can play the game for another 3 years.
I know, but I go back to it's not about playing the game at the level he's been playing at. I go back to why I said all along, when their season ended, when they lost to the Rams, he's going to retire. Nothing has changed. Why did I say he's going to retire?
Because
he started talking about his family. And when players start talking about their families in press conferences, they're thinking about life after that sport.
Right, but I have heard more than one athlete say the family. Exactly. One of them was Michael Jordan. I remember he was the guy, he went on Oprah, talked about how he's got to be with the family. And then he was back two years later. Like, there's all of that stuff. Mm-hmm. Everybody says that.
In fairness,
and I think they all believe it at the
Jordan
time.
And Tom Brady is the same family man. I just don't. Michael Jordan, let's be honest.
I'm using one example.
You're a fan
there
of
are
the
a lot of
Last Dance. Michael Jordan,
Darren,
he wasn't gone just because
there are
of basketball,
dozens
Willie.
of people that
he
say
had an incredible
I want him to
nightlife.
spend more time.
Everybody
says
he loved
it's
to
a
gamble.
line. It's an
he loved
easy
to
line.
drink.
Yes,
he
I know.
loved to go out. Tom Brady's not that guy.
Look,
Tom Brady goes home.
I'm just telling
Michael
you,
Jordan
regardless,
I'm just telling you, I don't compare them. They're not the same.
I'll guarantee you, I could put up 100 press conferences of retirement. And every one of the guys brings up they want to spend more time with their family.
Right.
Everybody says it.
Is their wife Giselle, who's worth about $400 million?
It
I'm not
doesn't
going to
matter
presume
who
to
the
know
wife
what
is.
his. No, it doesn't. I don't presume to know what Tom Brady's family life is or not, or any of the athletes. I'm just telling you that every single press conference, a person talks about that.
So
you don't know.
think the supermodel wife has say-so in their family?
I have
really?
no idea.
I'm saying,
I have no idea.
I'm not saying she doesn't have say. We see this with coaches. We see this with players. I want to spend more time with my family. And they do at that particular moment. They do want to spend time with their family, But then they start spending time with their family, and it's great, but they still miss it. I'm telling you, that's why coaches come back after 2 or 3 years of being away. They come back and they start coaching again.
The coaches
that's why
are the
players,
worst.
if they sit out for a year, they come back the next following year. The love of the game. It's not the money. Tom has a bunch of that. His wife has a bunch of that. It's not about money. He can never find that competitive edge again. Believe me, I'm telling you this. You can ask any athlete out there, former athlete, you will never, ever, ever find that competitive edge or that competitiveness that you had while you were playing. You can be working at a Fortune 500 company. That competitiveness is not there. And guys look for that, and Tom will look for that. And when he can't find it, it's going to be very quickly. He's going to realize it. He can't find it. He's going to get that itch again. And I'm not saying he's coming back. I'm just saying I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if he comes back.
Well, you're going that direction.
Well, let's talk about the smoke. Let's talk about the smoke or the wisps of smoke, okay? Because there's not a lot here, right? This story is not some sort of really in-depth thing. People are kind of putting some clues together and maybe reaching a couple of steps past that to say,
Reaching's
well,
a good
maybe.
word.
Mike Giardi, Ian Rappaport on NFL Network. Here are some of the things that were thrown around there. This is Giardi. I don't know much about Mike Giardi. Do you guys? I don't know much about him. I've talked to a couple of – he said this on NFL Network. So they let him on the channel.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm not sure his background. We'll have to look it up. I've talked to a couple people who were with Tom Brady in Foxborough, know him very well, and they said – so we have hearsay, we have secondhand. I don't believe for a second that he's done. I think the way things got handled a couple of Saturdays ago with the retirement sort of leaked out early. He shamed the media. Then the next day he retires. It was clunkily done. A lot of people feel like he was almost forced in that direction and doesn't want to go in that direction just yet. The situation in Tampa, they ran it back last year. They didn't win a title. Now there's some cap concerns. Can they bring everybody back? It doesn't seem like that's going to be the case. Maybe, just maybe, Tom Brady is looking elsewhere and saying, I can't win a title here, but maybe I can win one elsewhere. He did not close the door on playing football. Now, here's what Tom Brady has said. He does his thing with Jim Gray on satellite radio. And he had a Fitzgerald, right? They do their thing. This is what Brady said about it. I'm just going to take things as they come. I think that's the best way to put it, and I don't think anything. You never say never. At the same time, I know that I'm very, very happy about my decision. I feel very good about it. I don't know how I'll feel 6 months from now.
Let me just tell you something, guys. I'm willing to bet you. If you want to bet, let's bet. I'm just telling you, he's done. First of all, nobody forces Tom Brady into anything. That's a bunch of baloney. Okay, whoever said it's almost like it was forced. No,
Mike
you don't
Giardi.
Force Mike Girardi.
Talk to Mike.
Okay, I'll
not
talk
Girardi.
to Mike.
Not Girardi. Not
Joe Girardi. Is Joe his brother?
Not Joe.
No.
Not Jan Girardi for the New York Rangers, who played Tampa Bay Lightning.
Mike. Nobody forces Tom Brady to do anything.
He's a Boston-based guy,
okay.
Mike Giardi.
Nobody forces Tom Brady to do anything. It may feel forced to you, but Tom Brady isn't forced by anybody. He beats to his own drum. He does whatever he wants to do.
How do we know
Nobody's forcing him to do anything.
Right. Listen, I don't disagree with you at all. I'm just reading you the report. Okay, don't shoot the messenger. Call Mike.
Call Mike Girardi or Mike Gianni, whatever his name is.
Giovanni Giardi. I don't
exactly. But players, coaches, in the moment, they are telling you the truth. They are being honest with you. Yeah, I want to retire. I want to spend time with my family. And that is their truth, right? In that particular moment, that is their truth. It's been a long season. It's emotional. I want to get away from the sport. I want to spend time with my family. So all of that is true. I'm not saying that. But also, players understand, because even if you're not retiring, you still like, man, I just got to get away.
Mm-hmm.
Man, why am I even playing anymore? I'm 30-something years old. Why am I playing? You haven't hinted to anybody you're retiring. But then 3-4 months later, you're like, okay, I'm ready to go again. My body feels good. Mentally, I'm in a good place. Let's go. It's the same with Tom or anybody else that
it's not. I'm going to tell you why on the other side. Okay? I'm going to tell you why your examples are not the same.
Okay.
Again, we're not comparing apples to apples, and I'll tell you why to wrap up the first hour. We'll do that next.
From Fox 17 News, this is a Code Red weather alert.
I'm Fox 17 News Code Red meteorologist Dan Guthrie. Breezy, cloudy, and warm with strong to severe storms possible this afternoon and evening. Main threat, damaging winds and spin-up tornadoes.
This weather report brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
At Cordell & Cordell, we focus on representing men in domestic relations cases.
Attorney CPA Joe Cordell.
We recognize that our clients are going through perhaps the toughest time they will ever go through. We understand that everything that's important to them is on the table. Their assets, the role in their children's lives. That's an immense responsibility that our clients entrust us with, and we take that very seriously. We've been trained to do that. We've helped thousands of clients before. And it's our hope that you'll choose to entrust us with what's most important to you.
The attorneys at Cordell & Cordell work to help men maximize their role in their children's lives. Contact the domestic litigation firm of Cordell & Cordell to schedule an appointment with one of our firm's Nashville area attorneys, a partner men can count on. 615-457-8700. Online at CordellCordell.com. That's CordellCordell.com. Offices in Nashville, Franklin, Murfreesboro, and Gallatin. Cordell & Cordell, 810 Crescent Center Drive, Suite 160, Franklin, Tennessee, 37067.
Men, it's the new year, and maybe it's time to do something new for you. If you're sluggish and run down, not sleeping well, have low libido, and just not feeling like you used to, it's possible you have low testosterone. This is Kim for the Tennessee Men's Clinic, and if you feel like this, and you're like most men with low T, we can get you back on track fast. Low T treatments can truly change your life. Most men experience higher energy, better gains in the gym, improved sleep patterns, and better mental clarity. You'll also likely find that your libido is improved, which can have a very positive effect on your sex life. At the Tennessee Men's Clinic, we've successfully treated thousands of men for low T. We're experts in these treatment protocols, and we're extremely proud of the results that our patients have experienced. So if you're feeling down and out this new year, it's time to call us. Just $99 gets you a PSA and T test and a medical consult. Call 615-208-9090 or go to TennesseeMen'sClinic.com. Visit our website to learn more, including side effects. Treatments extra. Results vary.
Shop today at Social Furniture during their President's Day sale. You'll find everything for your home on sale now, and they have same-day delivery. Use Social Furniture's financing plan and pay no interest for 1 full year. For a limited time, they have designer sofas, solid wood bedroom furniture, leather sofas, and sectionals in stock now. Social Furniture's President's Day sale going on now through President's Day. Visit Social Furniture on Charlotte Avenue in West Nashville. Shop local. Shop social. Social Furniture is a proud supporter of your Nashville Predators.
Meshing journalism.
They are 2 scores behind you. The math says that increases your chances of winning.
With sports fandom.
I stayed up till 1:30 in the morning, just emotionally numb from Titans and Packers.
And sarcasm.
You guys are the worst.
Robbie Stanley and Joe Rexrode are Robbie and Rexrode. No duh. Weekday mornings from 6 to 10. Brought to you by Little Guys Movers on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
1025 The Game and the Game Nashville app. Watch live on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. Interact with Darren, Daunic, and Chase. Call or text the show at 615-737-1025. Driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com.
You can watch us streaming live on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook every single day. Our video streaming is brought to you by the law offices of Amanda Gentry. We'll talk to Butch Spearden coming up to start the next hour. All things Butch. It'll be really good. You'll need to listen to what he has to say. Okay, I'm going to tell you why it's not the same. Because with all due respect, a lot of guys, yes, there are hundreds and hundreds of cases where this is examples of this particular case in all of professional sports that we've seen over the years. No question about it. We've seen this we see this all the time. Nothing new here. The difference is a lot of these guys, they don't know what to do life after football. Like, yeah, it all sounds good, and then They don't know what to do. They don't have any direction, with all due respect, Derek. I know you've played with guys like this, and this happens in other sports too. They just sit around, and it sounds great at first, and then they don't know what to do. And they got the whole rest of their life, and yes, they've got their family, but they don't know what to do because they've been playing this particular sport their entire life, and they're like, I just need to go back because I don't know what to do. And oh, by the way, they don't have a plan. And when you don't have a plan, you get out in the real world and you realize, wow, man, I got paid really well to do that, to do something I love doing. Yeah, it may be hard and it may be physical and it may take a toll on my body, but, man, I can't get paid like that anywhere else outside of that sport. They don't have any plan. So they run back to what they know because that's what they've done their whole life. Tom Brady doesn't have to work a day in his life. His kids are set. Their kids are set. Everybody's
did Brett
set.
Favre?
Yeah, did Brett Favre, did Randy
do
Moss,
whatever
did
he
Ricky
wants.
Williams, did Deion Sanders, did Reggie White, did
Tom
Marshawn
Brady.
Lynch. I'm just throwing names out here. Deion
Tom
Sanders
Brady.
is the greatest defensive back ever. He was on NFL Network. He had things going on. He was playing baseball. He had all the money he could ever want. And he said, I am done. And what happened? He came back. Marshawn Lynch. Same thing. Marshawn Lynch doing commercials everywhere.
Did Deion play 22 years in the league?
He didn't play.
22
No,
years?
he didn't play 22 years.
No, he didn't play 22 years.
At defensive back, you really can't play 22 years. It's
Why
hard.
can't you?
It's hard. Playing at that position is hard.
How would you know? How would you know?
Because being a wide receiver, you can't
right
play
across
22
from him.
years.
Yeah.
Exactly. Reggie White, he retired. Then he came back. I see what I understand what you're saying,
dozens
D-Mac.
and dozens of guys.
I do. I get it. But Tom, I'm going to tell you this, and it's no disrespect to Tom. He's no different from these guys. From this standpoint, all of these guys that I named was ultra competitive.
Yes.
Ultra competitive.
That's the key.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not talking about their lifestyle or anything else. He's no different. Every guy that I named on here, with the exception of Ricky Williams and Marshawn Lynch, are Hall of Famers. They are ultra competitive. And when you can't be ultra competitive anymore, you start to think like, man, I know I can do it.
Yeah.
And Tom can still, that's the part about it. Tom can still do it and be a top 5 quarterback. That's why I'm saying I wouldn't be surprised. And like you said, D-Mac,
we're not saying we know.
I am more
but you
leaning
can't
toward
say that you know, Darren.
Leaning more to, he may come back. But I wouldn't be surprised if he said, you know what, I'm going to come back and give it another year or two. Because he is ultra competitive. He is just everybody that have played against him, played with him, has watched him play. The guy is a competitive dude, okay? And these 5 or 6 guys that I've named, they are the same. That's what I mean by Tom's no different from them in that respect.
If we find out he's building a home here, are you willing to say he's coming back to the Titans?
I'm not going down that route.
Why?
Because anybody can build a house in Nashville. He got the money.
Is it unthinkable that Tom Brady might buy a house in Nashville? Like, everybody else in the world who's rich.
He probably moved building next to Aaron Rodgers.
You know,
Quarterback
which
City.
is next to me. I'm there.
That'll be the name of that's the neighborhood. It's called Quarterback City.
Exactly. Everybody's moving here. I think Peyton got a house here. Or building a house.
I know he's got one in Chattanooga. I don't know if he has one here or not.
It's close enough.
Well, you know who I was told over the weekend, in all seriousness, bought a home here?
No.
If we're going to go down this rabbit hole,
okay.
Zach Ertz. Zach Ertz just bought a home here.
Well, he can't.
He's
come
a UFA.
Here. He's not a quarterback.
Yeah, he's not.
No, but he's a UFA.
Yeah.
Do they need a tight end?
Yeah, they do.
Do they need a tight end? He's a UFA.
Is he moving? Where is it? Is it Nashville, Franklin, Brentwood?
You know where it is. It's the county starts with a W.
Williamson. There you go.
Yeah.
All right. They are. See, it could be quarterback and tight end you.
I was told this weekend Zach Ertz just bought a home here.
Oh, wow.
So Zach Ertz is a UFA. Titans need a tight end. I mean, just saying.
Yeah. Next it'll be Gronk.
Yeah. I mean, does he have anything left? I don't know.
I don't think Nashville's
He's
ready
not
for
playing
Gronk.
without terrific. Now, if TB and Gronk buy a house together, like next to each other, in Quarterback City, in Nashville, then we can start connecting those dots.
Is Quarterback City? Is it what part of Williamson County?
I think it's south of.
Is it
south of Spring Hill or north of
it's
Spring Hill?
definitely got a
south of
security
Franklin?
gate.
Yeah. Oh,
There's
okay.
no
Okay.
doubt it's got a
Okay.
security gate, because
right.
it's got to be protected.
Yeah, I get.
So it's got security everywhere. It's got to be protected.
It's in the
Quarterbacks are
shape of
used
a pocket.
to being protected.
Shape of a
unless you're
quarterback's
Joe
pocket.
Burrow.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow doesn't live in a security gated. He doesn't live in a protected neighborhood.
No, he doesn't.
He's used to not being protected. He would probably like to move into a gated area and be protected.
Man.
Quarterback City's got protection. It's got security.
Nah. Yeah, but
I'm willing to bet you guys. I'm just telling you. I think he's done. And if I lose, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'll pay my bet. But I'm just telling you.
I'm not betting one way or the
I'm
other.
I'm not betting on another man's future.
This story is not enough to go on here. But I'm just saying we have seen a lot of players come back after that whole emotional. I'll give you another one, Darren. Roger Clemens. So many times. I've just got to spend he had the really dramatic retirement ceremony. All of the flashes of the cameras. This is Roger's last pitch. And
oh my gosh,
7 or 8 years later,
retiring.
7 or 8 years later, he's coming back. He came back in the middle of the season. Remember the Susan Waldman? Next, do we need to pull up the Susan Waldman celebration?
We all know by now.
George Steinbrenner's
oh my
box.
Gosh.
Roger Clemens is coming back. It's just, how many times did it happen? I lost track how many times he came back.
Oh, he left
But I'll
again?
guarantee you, we could pull up a YouTube and hear Roger Clemens. It's time to spend time with my family.
And they mean it at the time.
They do mean it at the
time.
Yes. Here it is.
Roger Clemens is in George's box, and Roger Clemens is coming back.
He's coming back.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
Holy cow.
Of all the dramatic things I've ever seen, Roger Clemens standing right in George Steinbrenner's box announcing he is back. Roger Clemens is a New York Yankee.
Now, what next? Look on that thing. What year was that? Okay?
It was uploaded to YouTube in 2012.
2012. But that's not when it happened.
Yeah.
We need to find out when that happened. Because I'll guarantee you,
that
that was with the Yankees. That was the Yankees that he came back. Because the Susan Waldman, that's Yankee Stadium, George Steinbrenner's box. He pitched for the Astros after he retired and then came back with the Astros.
You forgot he retired, didn't you? He retired? Oh, okay. My bad.
I think it was during the 07 season, looks like.
That was during the 07 season? I don't think so. Oh, he did come back to the Yankees after the Astros. Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. So in 2003, he played in the World Series with the Yankees. He started against the Marlins. They had all of the flash bulbs go off. Even if you watch the World Series film, the official World Series film, you'll have this grand thing in the middle of the series, which the Yankees lost to the Marlins. What a way to go out. Roger Clemens, he tips his hat to the crowd. Amazing stuff. So if that was 2007, that's 4 years later. He retired. He came back to the Astros, retired again in 06, and came back in 07.
Now you know why Susan was so worked up.
She was very worked up.
Yeah. I guess.
D-Mace, the way you've been moving lately, is there any chance you find a home in Quarterback City? What do you think?
Nah, that's too secure for me, man.
Yeah?
Quarterback City is too secure. I don't want to see the same people every day. Get tired of them.
Okay.
Yeah, end up throwing a football through the window or something.
All right, we'll come back and start the next hour with Butch Spearden. We'll find out what Butch has up his sleeve. He wears sleeves. I know Eric Young didn't wear sleeves, but Butch does. We'll do that next here on ESPN 102.5 The Game.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen.
Mike Capel here, serial entrepreneur with words from another happy payroll customer.
I've used it for a year now, and I've worried 0 time. I just enter in the time, it's calculated, and it's taken out of bank account, and it's just done. I love it.
Visit us at PatriotSoftware.com. Use promo code RADIO and get 2 months of payroll free. That's PatriotSoftware.com.
Accounting and payroll, keep your time and money.
Robbie Stanley.
That one is by far my favorite.
Robbie and Rex Road. Weekday mornings 6 to 10 on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game.
Hey, Darren McFarland here, and I'm excited to tell you about the folks at Spring Hill Heating and Cooling. Spring is just around the corner, and if your AC or heating unit is old and inefficient, then you need to take advantage of the Spring Hill Early Spring Special in the month of February. Save up to $1,000 for Spring Hill Heating and Cooling. Get a York unit with a 10-year parts and labor warranty with up to 60 months no-interest financing on all York units. Restrictions do apply. Schedule now at springhillac.com. Spring Hill Heating and Cooling, a York-certified comfort expert company.
Houston Clinic Orthopedics wants to thank their patients for voting them the #1 orthopedic practice in the Nashville Scene Poll for 3 years in a row. Their physicians specialize in spine, joint replacement, knee, hip, upper extremity, and other orthopedic conditions. At Houston Clinic Orthopedics, they adhere to all CDC guidelines for the patient's and staff safety. To experience world-class orthopedic care and see a list of all physicians, visit their website at tn.houston.com and book your appointment online today.
Mid-State Sports League spring registration is now open. With 7 different sports to choose from, there is something for every player. Join Nashville's largest sports leagues and register as a free agent or bring your own team. Spring registration is now open for softball, sand volleyball, soccer, kickball, flag football, and basketball. For a full list of adult and youth leagues, check out midstatesports.com. That's midstatesports.com. It's no debate. Play Mid-State.
From the Hillside Medical Game Studios, WPRT FM Pegram, WPUC HD2 Laverne, broadcasting on Alexa.
I appreciate that.
And other smart speakers.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
A Cromwell Media Station.
Live from the Game Nashville studios, it's time for Darren, Daunic, and Chase. With hosts Darren McFarland, Willie Daunic, and Chase McCabe. On Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game.
Second hour, Darren Daunic and Jason D-Mace. Here on this Thursday, Darren McFarland, Willie Daunic, and Derek Mason with you. We'll start the next hour, high noon. We'll talk to Brad Hopkins, a teammate of D-Mace's, and, of course, his son Bryson. 4 catches in the Super Bowl. Higbee went down. In come Bryson Hopkins, and boy, now he's a Super Bowl champ. So we'll talk to B-Hop coming up at high noon. Right now we're going to talk with Butch Spearden, and we're going to tell you about what's going on in our wonderful city. He's, of course, with the Nashville Convention and Visitors Corporation. Butch, good morning. How you doing?
Great. Morning, guys, and thanks for inviting me in for lunch.
Yeah, our trips downtown here lately, Predators games and what have you, it definitely seems like business is picking up. It seems like a lot more normalcy than maybe the last couple of times we've talked to you over the last couple of years. In fact, parking in the Music City Center for some games, I mean, it's been jam-packed, so obviously we knew things were going on in the convention center. Maybe give us a lay of the land here as we sit here in February 2022.
Well, you're pretty accurate. We're inching our way back to normalcy, feeling a lot less on the cancellation side. A highlight was last week, Chick-fil-A brought about 5,000 or 6,000 managers to town and spent a lot of money. So I think that's a good sign. And I don't see us slowing down from here on unless something way out of the norm happens, which, as we all know, that's not as unlikely anymore as it used to be. But I think we're going to have a good year.
That's outstanding. One of the things we did want to talk with you about is we've heard, that there are plans, and we've talked to you about this in the past, plans for Nissan Stadium. And, of course, Nissan Stadium is going to be the host of the Stadium Series next Saturday between the Predators and the Lightning, so a big event going on there. But we've heard about renovations and things they want to do, and I guess let me just start with this. It's obviously this has been in the works. It's things that have been discussed, and there are things going on behind the scenes, but things are trickling out here and there. But when do you think we're going to really know what the plan is?
Well, I'd like to say sooner than later. It's such an intricate, detailed, and expensive proposition that it might take us a little longer to get that final plan. But what I do know is that Burke Nihill and the Titans, or Burke and Amy and the Titans, and Mayor Cooper and his team, they have put their shoulder to the wheel on this to try to come up with a plan that brings us in to the modern era, doesn't put the burden on the back of the taxpayers, and allows us to go chase things like World Cup or a Super Bowl, or all those things I hope your listeners would love to see come to our city.
There's no doubt about it, and we would love to see that happen. But let me ask you this. You talk to a lot of smart people. You talk to a lot of important people. We're not smart enough to know, even though my wife does work for an engineering firm. Can you, an existing stadium, we've wondered. We've tossed this around. We have no idea. I don't think there's even been a model of that happening. But, every year there's new technology, new ways of doing things. Could you slap a retractable roof or a roof on Nissan Stadium, or would you have to literally start over if that was the plan?
I tell you the honest answer is both. It is doable to retrofit. It's pretty expensive, and it might come to, well, wait a minute. We're better off new if we want to go that direction. But we just got to figure out, is the renovation really worthwhile? What do we need to have to compete? And then what do we have an appetite to do? But that stadium was the last stadium in the country built on the cheap. And it was built on the way cheap.
Yep.
And if the critics are mostly gone away, but it more than delivered everything we hoped for. From the NFL won't work in Nashville to why are we going to do something for a rich owner? If you look at the Grand Prix and the Marathon and CMA Music Fest and Rolling Stones and Garth Brooks and Monster Jam and SummerSlam, we've done great with that stadium. And now we have a chance to up our game thanks to things like the NFL draft or our efforts on World Cup. I hope we want to keep our momentum going, and we can be whatever we want to be as a city. So let's be careful and smart, but let's dream big.
Yeah, and part of that dreaming big. So you're in those meetings. You know how those meetings work, Butch. I mean, wouldn't the roof, though, guarantee all of the above to happen? I mean, the Garth Brooks concert got canceled because it doesn't get canceled with a roof. I mean, all this stuff you can do, and the Super Bowl guarantees this stuff, doesn't it?
Yeah, you could say if we put a roof on a stadium, make that hypothetically. I don't want anybody running out going, oh, Butch said we're building a roof. That's not what I'm saying. But as you look at the options, it seems crazy if you're going to spend a significant amount of money to not spend a little more and do it in a way that we're guaranteed to make our money back. The opportunities are endless anymore for this city because of what we've built and our reputation for executing those events.
Look, I understand not wanting to move from that area and keep building around, right? Keep building up around there. I totally understand that. That's why I'm saying you're right. It is the last one standing. Like everything now, as we're seeing in Vegas and L.A. and everywhere, is Minneapolis. It's new, state of the art. Atlanta, and that would be nice. But I also understand that you could do things and leave it there, and I know why you'd want to keep that location. So I'd be okay with just staying there and slapping a roof off and then putting a bunch into Nissan Stadium to make it as nice as you could possibly make it. But more importantly, you can do that by bringing in all these events. It's going to make them tons of money, and you can just always be put, like the Predators, always be sinking money into your building.
Yeah, you've got to find that plan. Even, I think people forget, the lease with the Titans calls for the city to keep that facility up to NFL standards every year. The city hasn't done that in years. And, go probably 3 mayors back. So there's a debt out there, and the Titans are saying, look, before we try to collect on past due, let's come together and figure out what do we really need, what can really be done, what condition is this building in, and let's do the best we can with what we have. And I think that's where they are. I haven't been in the most recent meeting, so let me be clear on that. But I know they're working towards that. What's the best product for the best price that we can afford? We don't need to overstretch ourselves, but we do need to have confidence in ourselves.
Now, Butch, I know this has been a long process for everyone involved. This is not something that everyone just thought of, 2 weeks ago or last year. This has been something that has been evolving. Are there particular models that the group looked at and said, okay, this is the model that we want and that can work here in Nashville? Because I look, when we played in New England, they have this whole town built up around the stadium. You go to Dallas, they have this whole town built up around the stadium. Is that what you're thinking more so down the line?
Yeah, I think that's a great description. I think the way you keep this off the backs of the taxpayers in the general fund is to create a development around the stadium that the revenue that it generates pays for whatever we end up doing. If it's a new stadium, a renovation, a roof on this, we should be looking at everything. But you're spot on. Downtown jumps across the river, and there is a campus of office, residential, retail, entertainment. Let's enjoy ourselves on game day.
Butch Bearden is with us. And, Butch, you've referenced the World Cup. Can you remind people where we are in that process? I can remember we were hoping we were going to get it this coming summer, right? That's the one we all years ago were hoping for. Yeah. It's going to be in Qatar. So we got to wait.
Butch just laugh.
Yeah, well, this dates us, right? We can go back to those days. It seemed like 2022 was a long way away, but here we are, and we're going to have to wait until it looks like 2026. But where are we on the radar there?
So thanks for reminding me of that bitter loss. Yeah. And the sad thing is we made the cut with the U.S. then, and all we had to do was win that, and the U.S. had the best bid. So now we have to jump back in, and now we're one of 17 cities for 10 spots. What I can tell you is that we have been told as recently as last week that in April or May, they will make a final decision. I would tell you, I believe we went from long shot, most pundits saying no way, to I think we have a shot. I give it almost as high as a 50-50 chance that we're included. Our site visit went well. the mayor, the governor, the business community, the soccer community, everybody stepped up. And I think FIFA saw a lot more than they expected to see here. So we'll know soon, all of a sudden, April or May. And based on that, I would say May.
So we're going to know pretty soon.
Anymore. Yeah, it's coming.
Wow.
And then we've got some work to do if we're one of the chosen cities. But it's such a game-changing opportunity for Nashville and Nashville sports scene. I mean, all due respect to the Super Bowl, and I'd rather host a Super Bowl than a few early games of the World Cup because I know we're not going to get a final. But it's the biggest sporting event in the world. And to land it here would be a pretty good coup for the city, Nissan Stadium, and sports talk radio.
It would be amazing. We're looking forward to that. In the meantime, Butch, just give us a quick thumbnail of your vision of how next week's going to go. I know there's all kinds of events leading up to the game itself, but Stadium Series is going to be the next big thing, right?
Yeah, I was going to bring it up, so I'm glad y'all did. We have a unique, historic for Nashville opportunity. For me, the highlight is retiring Pecorini's jersey. I probably Preds would not want me to put it in that order, but I love that. So it's a special weekend. There's going to be music in Walk of Fame Park and an activation over there. And then the NHL is building a fan event over at Nissan Stadium before the game. There's going to be music in the stadium. And I think we'll do as good, if not a better job, than any other city and franchise in the NHL for the Stadium Series. I'm ready. Nashville should be excited. And I know ticket sales have been really good. So thank you, Nashville, for stepping up once again.
It's going to be fantastic. Butch, thanks for joining us. As always, great info. And we'll keep our fingers crossed on that World Cup.
Please do. I need your prayers.
Okay. Sounds good. Butch Spearden from the Convention and Visitors Bureau. Really a great mastermind of some of the big things. He thinks big. We try to make it happen as a city, all of the great events that have come through here. It's been awesome. When we come back, we will continue. We got a lot going on. B-Hop, Brad Hopkins, former teammate of Derek Mason, son Bryson, just played in the Super Bowl. He'll be joining us here very, very shortly. Stay tuned. We're coming back with Darren, Daunic, and Chase. And let me start it off by telling you about QC Kinetics. They have done a great job in our area just coming to town and letting people know what's out there in terms of options for those of you that have had some joint pain that just has been nagging and it's hindering your ability to do the things that you love to do. And it's very simple. These are things that go beyond the surgeries, the steroids, the pain pills, the traditional ways that you manage the pain. So if you suffer from chronic joint pain, look into QC Kinetics. Biologic therapies. They repair the damaged tissue in your aching joints. Great success rate. Natural biologic agents, mostly from your own body, and they're highly concentrated growth factors put directly into your affected joint. Soothes the inflammation, restores damaged tissue. It's regenerative. No surgery, no drugs, and no downtime. So look into QC Kinetics. This might be the option that you've been looking for. QC Kinetics can be reached 615-249-4024. Once again, here's the phone number, 615-249-4024.
Inside knowledge on the Titans.
Todd Downey's got his notepad out right now, just writing things down.
Inside knowledge on the Predators.
They go right into the forecheck, and boom, you get a beautiful goal from Colton Sissons.
And then there's a team in Knoxville.
How excited should Tennessee fans be by what they've seen from Josh Heupel in year one?
Wake up and hang out with Robbie and Rexroad. Weekday mornings from 6 to 10. Brought to you by Little Guys Movers on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and The Game Nashville app. Watch live on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube.
Hey guys, it's Mike from Newton Nissan. Can you feel that? Love is in the air. Maybe it's love for your significant other. Maybe it's love for Rome, your Bernese mountain dog. Maybe it's just love for chocolate. Wherever that love falls, this is the time to take it all in. But maybe take less of the chocolate in. So now that all the mushy stuff is out of the way, I'm going to tell you what we love. We love to help you. We love helping you find a new car when you need one. We love helping you keep your car running smooth with amazing service. We love partnering with you in the community to make a positive impact. Newton loves to help. We have a great selection of pre-loved vehicles on the lot for you right now. You can shop online and even start working your deal right now from your phone with Newton FastPass. Visit newtonnissan.com to shop or schedule service today. For the love of chocolate, see website for details.
Attention veterans of Middle Tennessee. Little Guys Movers wants to put your hard-earned skills and leadership talent to work with your very own Little Guys Movers franchise. Be your own boss and build a team with standards as high as your own, and all while serving your community with the same hustle that you served your country. Use your existing 401k to invest in yourself. Financing options are available. Start a fulfilling, profitable new chapter of your life as a member of a team with 30-plus years of growth and good times at littleguysfranchise.com. That's littleguysfranchise.com.
Cutting the price of your wireless bill feels good, really good. Actually, it feels great. You should try it out. So cut your bill by switching to Straight Talk Wireless, now offering our $45 Silver Unlimited plan with 5 gigabytes of hotspot and nationwide 5G on America's largest, most dependable networks. The $45 Silver Unlimited plan from Straight Talk. Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise.
A month equals 30 days. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com. 5G capable device required. Actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary.
Every Wednesday at 6, we go behind the glass with current and former Predators players, along with coaches and broadcasters for Nashville Live.
Yost, Hal, and I were just talking about last night's game. It was a big game for us.
Presented by New Amsterdam Vodka, Spring Hill Heating and Cooling, and Red Spirits and Wine on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app. If you've missed any of today's show, just search Darren, Daunic, and Chase on Apple, Spotify, or on your favorite podcast platform.
Back here on Darren, Daunic, and Chase. Derek Mason here with us. Coming up at noon, Brad Hopkins, the former Titan. Proud dad of a Super Bowl champion. Bryson Hopkins, Ensworth High School, Purdue, and now the Rams. 4 catches in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's a lot of catches, man, for a guy that, wasn't expected to play, not because he couldn't play or his ability, because the kid can play. It's just he had people in front of him that could play too. They got drafted a little bit higher in Higbee. But kudos to Bryson, man. He made some nice catches, first down catches. He had the key block on the sweep play to the receiver, Cooper Kupp. Without his block and him sealing that guy off, Cooper Kupp doesn't get the first down.
Oh, could have changed the whole
exactly.
thing.
So he had a huge block on that play. So I'm gonna love to hear what B-Hop has to say. Because I know he's super happy for Bryson. He, B-Hop and Bryson's mom, they're super happy for Bryson, but there has to be a little bit in him like, man, it would have been nice if Dad, got that Super Bowl in '99. That son and Dad got a Super Bowl, and I know that would have been just like the icing on the cake for him. But from what I've seen, social media and everything, he really, really soaked it all up. Meaning B-Hop.
So you heard what Butch Spiriton was talking about, his thoughts based on some of the conversations he's been involved with about the future of the stadium. One thing really jumped out at me, and of course, I'm sitting here, I'm not looking at a budget. I'm not trying to, I'm not the Titans and the Adams family and making the decision how much money I want to invest and things like that. I'm out of the game. But something he mentioned that I think is interesting, just from a macro standpoint, is if you're going to go in and improve the facility with the idea that the sky is the limit. Butch believes, as I think we all believe, that we've seen the NFL draft, we've seen the NHL draft, we've seen the NHL All-Star Game, we've seen what big events do in this city, and it's a can't miss. The next one's going to be next week at the Stadium Series. And so if you're going to jump in on the investment for the stadium, he said in regards to a retractable roof, if you spend a little extra to do that, I don't know if that's $300 million, $400 million, whatever it might be, it seems like a lot of money. But if that gets you extra things, gets you in the conversation for Super Bowl, for Final Four, is that worth that investment? I think, and then we don't even have to ask Darren. We know what he's been going for this for the whole time. But I'm kind of with that philosophy. But again, I don't have to write the check.
And you're absolutely right. But I think here's the thing. It all sounds great. But the people in Nashville, they're saying inflation is going up. Prices are going up everywhere. Housing prices everywhere. Taxes have gone up. Property taxes everywhere. And now you want us to, foot the bill, some of the bill for a stadium too?
Right.
Come on now.
That was what Butch was very careful of saying, though,
exactly.
is he doesn't want it to come out of the tax
exactly.
Which means you need the private investors to come in there, starting with the Titans. The Titans are the ones that have a lot of control in this. The city would come in to a degree, whatever they felt comfortable with. But to really get this done, the ones that have to really jump in are the Titans.
You're going to have to get, not firms, but you're going to have to get private groups to come in here and foot some of the bill along with the Titans. Because, again, it would be unfair considering where we are at as a country, and it's specifically where we are at as a city. Prices are going up, skyrocketing. For some people it's great, but for the majority is not. So, and then now you're asking them to foot some of the bill. It's not. They're going to say it's not cool. That's not cool for us to, considering where things are at now. And now you're asking us to, help with a stadium, whether it's retractable or whatever you want to do. More people are like, yeah, it sounds good. Yeah, it's going to bring more jobs, but I'm not getting one of these jobs. My family's not getting one of these jobs. A lot of people I know not getting one of these jobs. So why are we footing the bill again? Why do we have to help again? I like his idea, and I think that's where they may be going with the whole campus style situation where, you like Butch said, you come across the bridge and there is basically Titan City. You have, because I was in Dallas. That's how Dallas is. They have their practice facility. They have condos. They have stores. It's just a lot of stuff in that area that helps pay for it. Well, that's what it's the same in New England. How, Kraft has that whole thing set up.
Right. And
that's how it has to be here.
Is those two facilities are built out away from the
outside
downtown
of the city,
And so that was one thing that was thrown out in what Terry McCormick put together with his conversation with Butch, that they're thinking about maybe putting up some shops and things near where the Titan Stadium is now. And I'm thinking that doesn't appeal to me. I don't see the fit there because you're already right there in the downtown.
But downtown wouldn't have the shops that this area would have. Downtown.
But do we need more shops? It's just kind of like saying, do we need more when we've
there's
already
a lot of people moving here, and there's no. There's shopping. There's a little shopping downtown, but not the shopping that these people are used to. So they would want to, you go across the bridge, whether it be Titan paraphernalia or whatever the case may be. They're shopping with it's an experience where you don't have to go to the game. You can sit at a bar right across from the stadium, like right there.
Yeah.
And watch the game. So it feels like you're in the stadium. You can do it across the bridge, but it still doesn't feel like you're in the stadium.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I wonder about all the days that there's not an event there.
Well, there's still
would there be enough people coming through
There's still stuff going on.
Well, there's plenty going on. We know that. There's
exactly.
The cranes. There's always a bulldozer and a crane somewhere building stuff.
But you're hoping that businesses that does come into the campus are everyday, like businesses that stay open every day. Fitness centers, fitness center may be there, or coffee shops, this and that, where people still will come over and spend their money.
All right, let's take a break. When we come back, we will continue to move forward and discuss what's going on. Brad Hopkins coming up at noon. Elliot Friedman for our weekly chat with him at 1 o'clock. That's going to be outstanding. Stay tuned. You're listening to Darren, Daunic, and Chase. And let me start off by telling you about Lee Company, 615-567-1000. Predators back in action on Friday in Carolina against the Hurricanes. So check that out. And Lee Company, of course, will be a big part of our radio coverage for that, as always. Also, when you come down to Smashville next week for Pekka Rinne's retirement ceremony, you'll see the Lee Company display all around Bridgestone Arena. Lee Company has great services for you. Your plumbing, your electric, your heating, your cooling. And if you haven't had your air conditioning checked in a good while, talk to Lee Company, 615-567-1000. They're happy to come out and check it before the weather gets crazy. And of course, if you get in a pinch and it breaks down on your heating or your cooling, they're always just that phone call away, 615-567-1000 or leecompany.com. Ask them about their home maintenance plan where you get that year-round coverage that you're looking for, those checkups that will find those little problems before they become big problems. Lee Company, let their decades of expertise go to work for you.
Join the Nashville Superspeedway and ESPN 1025 The Game for the official NASCAR Daytona 500 watch party this Sunday at 3rd and Home starting at 1 o'clock. NASCAR fans and sports fans alike are encouraged to come out and join the fun while enjoying a full menu of food and drinks at 3rd and Home. Those in attendance can take the opportunity to purchase tickets for this summer's NASCAR tripleheader weekend, and they'll have a chance to win great prizes courtesy of Nashville Superspeedway, Music City's home for NASCAR Cup racing.
It's Family Leisure's President's Day sale.
Wait, President's Day?
Well, it's in honor of all our presidents, and it means great deals for everyone.
Okay, like what?
Well, pools and spas for one. Family Leisure has the largest selection and guarantees the lowest prices anywhere.
What about grills and grill islands?
Of course, everything is on sale for 4 days at Family Leisure, just in time for spring.
Family Leisure, both locations, Antioch and Franklin.
It's the official Bud Light Preds watch party as your Nashville Predators take on the Carolina Hurricanes this Friday. Puck drops at 6 p.m., but the party starts at 5:30 with all kinds of specials. See you at headquarters, Beercade, downtown Nashville on 2nd Avenue. Go Preds!
Hey, it's Chase McKay, Program Director at 1025 The Game, and when our crew is out, we want to look our best. Thankfully, we have Authentically American taking care of all of our apparel. The way your team looks is everything. Enhance your company's image with the help of veteran-owned and operated Authentically American. For you parents out there, they'll take care of your kids' team apparel too. It's Authentically American, and yep, it's made in America. Check them out at authenticallyamerican.us. Mention The Game and they'll handle the setup and artwork free of charge. That's authenticallyamerican.us.
Hey, Ray Magliozzi here. I'd like to carry more parts at my shop, but I just don't have the room. Every time I go in the back to get wiper blades, I trip over a dusty crate of Honda air filters, then bang my head on some GTO radiator hoses. eBay Motors never has that problem. They stock all the right parts at the right prices. 122 million of them, with everything from new headlights to vintage gear shifters. I can't imagine being able to stock 122 million parts. I mean, where would I get all those shelves? eBay Motors. Let's ride.
Saturday.
Pittman reverses. It's good.
Vanderbilt returns home against Texas A&M. Coverage begins at 4:30 on 93.3 Classic Hits and the Classic Hits app.
Hey, this is Matthias Ekholm. You're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 1025 The Game.
ESPN 1025 The Game is Nashville's official home of NASCAR. Of course, the suit, Chase McCabe, down in Daytona right now. Tune in Sunday at 1:30 for the Daytona 500. Get set for the race with Chasing Checkers, Chase McCabe, the suit, McCabe, the People's PD, down in Daytona. Every Sunday at 8 a.m., including this Sunday at 102.5 The Game. So make sure you listen to Chase coming up for coverage of the big one down there, the Daytona 500.
We also have the duels at Daytona tonight starting at 6 on 102.5.
Oh, very nice. Max Hurst chiming in.
You will hear engines revving.
With the details.
I suppose.
So D-Mace, our buddy Jimmy Shapiro,
Yes.
who I've never met, but sends me emails a couple of times a week. He's got odds. Bet online. Aaron Rodgers, number one, the favorite, if he doesn't play with the Packers, is the 49ers. If he goes to a new team, they're saying the favorite would be the 49ers. Russell Wilson, the favorite, if he doesn't stay with the Seahawks, it's the Buccaneers.
Okay.
And there are a lot of teams before you get down, even to the Colts on these lists. But the quarterback shuffle is going to be in the headlines here. You mentioned it. Something that might affect those odds is just the very public support of John Robinson and, for that matter, Mike Vrabel on Ryan Tannehill. But my biggest concern now, if this ever dies down, this quarterback talk, and I'm hoping it does, and the reality sets in, it's going to be Tannehill. What do we do about the rest of the roster? My biggest concern continues to be, and there's no way that we can answer this question right now, and we won't until next year, until we see the game start unfolding. Can Derrick Henry still be Derrick Henry based on all that he's been through over the last couple of years? When we were talking to Mike Florio yesterday, he used this term, which I thought was interesting. He said, running backs at some point, you get to the point where the engine just doesn't crank up anymore, right? Even if it's not a specific injury, you just get to that point where you're running just as fast, you're just not getting there as fast. You're trying just as hard, but it's just not happening. I'm hoping that doesn't happen for Derrick Henry. But everything really that they're about, especially if they're staying committed to Ryan Tannehill, is Derrick Henry being Derrick Henry. For them to stay in contention for the whole thing, he's such a big part of the puzzle. And I'm really rooting for that guy because he gives everything for his team. He's such a great team guy. And I want him to have extended success. But we know there's been any number of running backs through history where it just happens. It just happens someday. They're not quite as good, and there's a decline. I'm hoping we haven't reached that yet.
Well, I hope we haven't either. If I was a betting guy, I would say, no, we haven't reached that point just yet. If you look at his career in 6 years, he's had over 1,400 carries. What's that, about 200 or something a year?
And they were very concentrated, of course, before the injury.
Exactly.
He was well on his way to another
300,
350, 360.
400, maybe even 400.
Yes, that's what we were wondering. That was the question
listen,
before he broke the foot.
He had 219 carries in 8 games.
On pace for more than 400.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, his first 2 years, he averaged around 130.
Yeah, so he didn't have a heavy workload.
He didn't have a heavy work, and we all know DeMarco Murray was here, and DeMarco took the workload, and you see what happened to him. Injury, and he was forced to retire a little bit earlier than what he probably wanted to because of the injury.
And he had that heavy workload with the Cowboys.
But the Cowboys, and then it was with the Titans as well.
Yeah.
So when DeMarco Murray eventually left, Derrick Henry numbers start to go up. 2 years ago, 303. Last year, 376. This year, 219. It would have been close to 400, if not 400, this past season. So they were increasing his workload, which meant in the long run, it wasn't going to be good for him.
And
it was going to be almost like and I know why they do it. I know why they're doing it, but if you're running a guy that much for that long, eventually he's going to break down.
That's what nobody can know the answer for sure. The question was asked to Mike Vrabel right at the end of the season. Do they feel like the workload led to the stress fracture? And you cannot prove it one way or the other. You don't know. But you do have to wonder. And I'm just wondering, does it affect their philosophy going forward? How do you get the most out of Derrick Henry from here on? You can't do anything about the past at this point, although we did mention it throughout the whole process. Hey, they're running that engine hard, man. Mm-hmm. And sooner or later, this seems to happen to just about every running back. And there were a lot that would push back and say, well, this isn't just any running back. This is Derrick Henry. But still, barring a few guys, the Walter Paytons, the Emmitt Smiths, Eric Dickerson, there's only a few guys that had that real longevity where that kind of workload never caught up.
Exactly.
But for every one of those guys, there's a dozen great running backs
that caught up with.
Were really, really good for a 2-3 year stretch and then had a decline for one reason or another. But usually the general sense was wear and tear.
Well,
Foreman is a big part of this equation now, right? Because he's an inexpensive, guy that you could bring back alongside to try to relieve some of that workload.
But he's not going to be inexpensive. He's not.
He's going to get a raise, right?
He's proven that he can be a starter in this league. He has the power. He has the speed. He has the vision. He has the grit. He has the dog in him. He's competitive. He fits what the Titans want in their backfield. If they are going to keep him, they're going to have to pay him. I'm not saying paying him Derrick Henry money. They're not going to do that.
Yeah, it's nothing
like that. I don't think anyone is. But they're going to have to pay him. They're going to have to give him a considerable raise than what he had.
That's the question that I don't know the answer to, because we know running backs, it's a different salary structure than it used to be a long time ago. But will there be a team or two, because as we know, it just takes one, that comes to Foreman and says, man, I love what you did last year. You could be our featured guy. You're better than the guys we have. And I think the Titans have to be prepared for that to happen, and them just being outbid for him to go to a place where maybe he could be the starter. So the other guy that you've got in the stable, of course, is Hilliard, right? Hilliard was really, really good.
But he's more of a change of pace back.
Yeah, he's a different kind of back.
Yeah.
So how would you feel about that if it's just the salary cap issues are there for the Titans. They don't have unlimited money. So if they lost Foreman, how would you feel about Henry and Hilliard as your two?
But you're still not going to. Derrick Henry still will get over 300 carries with Hilliard in the backfield.
So in your mind, is 300 the number that you want to stay around, knowing that there's 17 games
You have
now?
you have in order
because they blew by that.
Yeah, if you want to maximize Derrick Henry's ability to be the best back in the NFL, it's going to have to be around that 320, 330, somewhere around there. With that extra game, that's putting them way above 400. You can't do that, especially coming off that a foot injury, plate in his foot. No, you can't do that. You got to have another back. Would I be okay with Hilliard? Yeah, but again, how many carries is he going to take from Derrick Henry? Will they respect the defense? Will they respect Hilliard the way they respect Foreman? Now, so it's Foreman here. You put Foreman in the backfield, they have to they got to come up because he is Derrick Henry. He is Derrick Henry when I mean running style.
Okay.
Like a brute force.
Power. Yeah.
Power. He's coming at you.
Might take more than one guy to get him down.
Exactly. He's not Derrick Henry. He's not there, but he runs with power and strength and speed. You got to pay attention to him after a while. Hilliard, I don't think you have to do that. They figure if we just put one linebacker in there, he's small enough, we can get him down. You're not getting Foreman down with one guy. He allows you to play the brand of football that you want to play, even when Derrick Henry isn't in the game. You can't play that brand of football with Hilliard.
See, to me, these are the key questions because we can talk about the fun fantasies of a different quarterback and all this stuff, but really these are the questions that I'm sure they're wrestling with. And I've got a couple more for you on the other side because what have we heard about Derrick Henry all the time? He gets better the more you give him the ball. So can he adjust and be a guy? If we're going to keep the carries around 300 for 17 games, which I think makes a lot of sense, then there's less games where he's getting that ball 25, 20, and wearing teams down in the fourth quarter. The formula might have to change a little bit. So let's talk about that on the other side. Stay tuned. You're listening to Darren, Daunic, and Chase. Derek Mason is here with us. Coming up at noon, we'll talk to Brad Hopkins. Stay tuned. We're coming back. And I will tell you about Loan Pronto to get things started. Loan Pronto, of course, they want to take advantage. We were just talking about home values here recently. Your home's value in our area, this is an advantage of living in a city like Nashville that's growing crazy right now. The cranes all over the place. And Loan Pronto wants you to be able to take advantage of your home's value. You can use money that you've built up in equity now to pay off credit cards or remodel your house if you've got some bills to pay, or you can do both. Loan Pronto can convert that home's equity into cash in as little as 2 weeks, no cost to you, zero hassle. A lot of people are doing this, and there's been a lot of successes. One local couple called Loan Pronto. They did a Loan Pronto zero-cost cash-out refi. Got a check for $100,000, used $50,000 to pay off the credit cards and the car loan, so they got that taken care of. The bills are paid. They took the other $50,000, reinvested in their house, upgraded their bathroom and kitchen, and now their home is worth even more. They locked in the new APR in the 2s that lowers that monthly payment on your mortgage, and the total monthly bills are down by hundreds of dollars as a result. So do this now. You can even skip your next 2 house payments. Let Loan Pronto do something similar for you. Call 615-499-5780. That's 615-499-5780, or go to loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 166-1781. Subject to lender approval. Not all loans apply.
Hey, this is Roman Yossi, and this is Nashville.
Going to the front of the net, he scores. What a gorgeous move. Roman Yossi.
You're listening to the flagship of the Nashville Predators radio network, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
From Fox 17 News, this is a Code Red weather alert.
I'm Fox 17 News Code Red meteorologist Dan Guthrie. Breezy, cloudy, and warm with strong to severe storms possible this afternoon and evening. Main threat, damaging winds and spin-up tornadoes.
This weather report brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
If you suffer from chronic joint pain, don't assume that steroid shots, pain pills, and surgery are your only options. You can call now to get real, lasting, life-changing relief from QC Kinetics. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in using biologic therapies to repair damaged tissue in your aching joints. The success rate is staggering. People with knee and back pain, shoulder pain, hip pain, they're moving again, enjoying life again with help from QC Kinetics. This advanced, unique treatment protocol uses natural biologic agents, mostly from your own body. These powerful, highly concentrated growth factors are put directly into your affected joint, going to work to soothe the inflammation and restore damaged tissue. A truly regenerative treatment. No surgery, no drugs, no downtime. Finally, a new, different, highly successful approach to dealing with joint pain. Is it time you got a second opinion? Call the local medical professionals at QC Kinetics now. 615-249-4024. 615-249-4024. That's 615-249-4024 for QC Kinetics.
Parman Tractor and Equipment is your one-stop tractor and equipment solution, and Middle Tennessee's Link Belt and Takeuchi dealer. Rent or purchase a track loader, mini excavator, large excavators for your job site, or something in between. Parman is now hiring and seeking qualified candidates for construction equipment truck drivers, service technicians, and more. Apply at parmantractor.com or call 615-865-7800. Come be an employee owner with the Parman team, your Middle Tennessee Link Belt and Takeuchi dealer.
A show that doesn't pull any punches.
And they win a playoff game and they get to the divisional round and he doesn't give up a sack the rest of the year. I don't give two poops. I'm done.
And has an opinion on everything.
That ref crew that was just terrible. Threw flags on almost every possession.
Jared Stillman hosts Stillman and Company.
Tough guy. He's a really tough guy.
Weekday afternoons from 2 to 6. Delivered by TriStar Moving on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app. Interact with Darren, Daunic, and Chase. Call or text the show at 615-737-1025. Driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com.
Yeah, we'll go then, baby girl, we'll go then. They're about to see us shine, cause we'll go then. They can't ever break us down, cause we'll go then. They're about to see us glow, cause we'll go then. Yeah, we'll go then, baby girl, we'll go then. They're about to see us shine, cause we'll go then. They can't ever break us down, cause we'll go then. They're about to see us glow, cause we'll go then.
When the the Predators have a weeknight game this year. It's your chance to participate in the Preds Pick to Click, brought to you by New Amsterdam Vodka. If you guess the Predators player that scores a goal in the game that night, you win a pair of tickets to a future Preds home game. Call in tomorrow morning at 8:45 a.m. with Robbie and Rexroad, and one caller will get a chance to make a pick for tomorrow night's game against the Canes. Tough opponent. The Carolina Hurricanes, of course, got very familiar with them last year, did we not? So the Canes last night were in action, and they took on the Florida Panthers. That's the team that the Predators play after this one. And the Canes, taking a look at it here, they came up short, 3-2, an overtime winner for the Panthers in that game. But the Canes sitting there at 32-11-4, Panthers 33-10-5. So those are the next two opponents. Big tests for the Predators. So I did a little math here, D-Mace. 300 carries in 17 games. That comes out to about 17 and a half carries a game. Between 17 and 18 carries a game. Now that's a decent number, but that's definitely if the Titans are playing the type of football that they want to play, they're going to run it more than 17 times with their running back. So that's where you need the other guy, whoever that is. Foreman, maybe in a perfect world, or Hilliard. If it's Foreman, then I think it's the perfect combo. If you used to give it to Derrick Henry 25 times, now 17 and 8, that might be a nice mix, right? But my question would be, because this came up in the playoff game against the Bengals, right? It wasn't Derrick Henry's best game. Deontay Foreman ran really well in the 4 carries that they gave him, and people were like, wait a minute, maybe they should have distributed a little different based on how the game was going. I guess what I come down to is, can Derrick Henry thrive? Can he evolve to that kind of back where he's not the man? There's very few of those guys left in the game, but he's been one of them.
I think it's going to have to be a mindset of Derrick Henry. If he wants to have longevity, he's going to have to realize that, hey, I can't continue to run the ball, close to 400 times a year, or not if they add another game, it would be 400. I can't survive at 400 carries a year for the next, 3-4 years. I just can't do it. My body, I don't care what I do in the offseason, 400 carries for the next 3 or 4 years, your body's not going to hold up.
And I think what you're saying 100% was not his mindset a year ago in the offseason. I think his mindset was, I've got this great trainer. I'm going to work out harder than anybody's ever worked out. I'm going to be the exception. I can take it. I can do it. I wonder if his mindset is a little bit more of, okay, I got to adjust a little bit here. I have to play a little bit differently. My role is going to be different. I don't know if he's done that or not. I don't know if anybody from the Titans has gone to him and said, Derrick, we got to change the formula a little bit. We want you to be just as effective as you've ever been, but we've got to do it in a little different way. You can't be the 25, 27 carry guy every week because it's not. You're going to burn out.
Yeah,
because they resisted that, right? There was a lot of, he's different. He can do it. He's got the cryogenics. He's got this high tech. They documented it, and he did it.
He is different,
and he's going to keep doing that.
Yeah, he is different, but just because you're different doesn't mean eventually your body's going to say, enough. Yeah, I've taken enough. We need to slow down. We need to do. And I'm pretty sure after this injury, he's probably thought like, okay, it's foot injury. Me running the ball a lot. Something has to give. I can't continue to go at this pace. He probably says, I hope they do keep Foreman. I do, because then Derrick Henry, unless he just falls off a cliff, meaning from his career, or he just, God forbid, he get a catastrophic injury like a knee injury, he's always going to be, to me, the best running back in the National Football League, at least for the next 3-4 years, 2-3 years. So just because you don't give him 25 carries doesn't change my mind, nor does it change the defensive coordinator's mind. Just because they give Derrick Henry the ball 17 times, the defensive coordinator is still saying they're giving the ball 17 times to the best running back in the National Football League. So we got to stop him. So his presence is always going to be there. He's always going to be that. He's going to be that back that he has been at least for the next 2 or 3 years. I don't think by minute. I don't think okay. Instead of giving him the ball 25 times, we give it to him 7 times. He may not be able to get 100 yards, or he may not be able to, be the Derrick Henry he was. He will still be the Derrick Henry because some games you're going to have to give it to him 20 times, 25 times.
I believe that they probably, in a perfect world, would not have had as many games as they did where they gave it to him last year in the first half of the year before he got hurt. They were having all kinds of issues keeping Julio Jones on the field. A.J. Brown was having issues staying on the field. He was banged up. Sometimes he played, but he wasn't 100%. They played a game or two without either one of them. They played a couple of games where Julio Jones didn't finish the game. He started the game, but he didn't finish. They had all kinds of offensive line issues. The defense still hadn't come all the way around. Bud Dupree hadn't gotten healthy. It hadn't all come together. And I think they looked around and said, you know what? We got nothing else. We've got to turn, and we've got to ride Derrick Henry. He's got to carry us, and he did. He put him on their back. So they might have had the intention of lowering the workload a little bit if everything worked out, but they couldn't resist. And I don't blame them at all. And Derrick Henry's not going to refuse to have the ball. He's a team guy. He wants to win, and he did carry them to that point. But I don't know if they even have that option this year if they want to get the most out of it. Because like you said, you want another 2-3 seasons at least of a productive Derrick Henry.
Exactly. The best thing they can do for Derrick Henry is, and the offensive line did a good job at run blocking. They did. Pass blocking was a different story, but
especially early.
Yeah,
it was a big problem.
early, and they got better toward the end of the season. But run blocking was the thing they could hang their hat on. Like we are,
and they really proved that after he got hurt. They kept running well.
So the best thing they can do for him is to continue to build up that offensive line, get them a tight end, and make sure either they keep Foreman or get a running back that can take 10 carries a game and be productive. That's the best thing they could do for Derrick Henry, because if they can get that line more solidified, that makes his job a lot easier. He doesn't have to, run through 2 or 3 guys just to get 5-6 yards. You know?
And that's something I think we're going to have to take a look at is how different does the offensive line look because of the contract situation and the age of some of their offensive linemen. Can they recreate, what they've been able to do? And can they get better? They have to address Lewan, Saffold, Jones. I mean, we know the deal. Like, other than Nate Davis, like everybody else, they've got to make some decisions. Yeah. We got to make some decisions. All right, Darren is back with us. He'll join us at the top of the hour. Brad Hopkins is going to join us. We'll pick his brain a little bit about the Titans, but, of course, we're celebrating his son Bryson and the Super Bowl ring, the local product. Bryson, Ainsworth High School, got the ring for the L.A. Rams. You probably saw him with a couple of snags he made. Stay tuned. We're coming back at the top of the hour with Darren, Daunic, and Chase here on ESPN 102.5 The Game.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen.
Shop today at Social Furniture during their President's Day sale. You'll find everything for your home on sale now, and they have same-day delivery. Use Social Furniture's financing plan and pay no interest for 1 full year. For a limited time, they have designer sofas, solid wood bedroom furniture, leather sofas, and sectionals in stock now. Social Furniture's President's Day sale going on now through President's Day. Visit Social Furniture on Charlotte Avenue in West Nashville. Shop local. Shop social. Social Furniture is a proud supporter of your Nashville Predators.
Zines First is the official sign company for 102.5 The Game. Go to sfnash.com.
The National Wild Turkey Federation's 46th Annual Convention and Sports Show is February 16th through the 20th at Gaylord Opryland Resort and Convention Center. Celebrate a year of conservation success with the National Wild Turkey Federation members, volunteers, and partners. You can expect the same great nightly events, quality entertainment in the watering hole, and the latest gear from more than 350 companies featured in their exhibit hall. For more info, go to nwtf.org.
With thousands of dollars in new tax credits this year, Jackson Hewitt understands there's a lot at stake this tax season. We have 102 reasons to switch to a Jackson Hewitt Tax Pro, like giving you $100 just to switch. So that's 100. Then we'll track down every last tax credit so you get every dollar you deserve. That's 101. Finally, we guarantee you'll get your biggest refund. That's 102. Want to discover 103? Book an appointment at a participating location near you. Offer ends March 6th. Available at participating retail locations for new clients only. Mention this ad when filing. Terms apply. Visit jacksonhewitt.com for details.
Prescription products require an online physician consultation and are only available if the physician determines a prescription is appropriate. Subscription required. See website for full details and important safety information.
Dealing with ED is difficult enough, but the pressure of not satisfying your partner makes it even worse. ED can be tough on a relationship, but at HIMSS, you can contact a medical provider online and, if appropriate, get the prescription medication that treats ED at affordable prices. HIMSS ED medication has the same active ingredients as Viagra, but because it's generic, you pay 90% less. That's right, 90% less. A whole month's supply is just $30, and it's sent right to your home for free in discreet packaging. HIMSS offers the same medication you'd get from your doctor, but without the copay, expensive appointments, or awkward face-to-face conversations. And with HIMSS, every online visit is free, and your relationship right back on track. For a free online consultation, go to forhims.com/joy. That's forhims.com/joy for your free visit. forhims.com/joy.
Hey, it's Elijah Campbell from Darren, Daunic, and Chase, and I got my radio start right here as an intern at ESPN 1025 The Game. It was an excellent experience, and we're now looking for new interns. If you think that's you, go ahead and send your resume over to together@cromwellmedia.com to apply.
From the Hillside Medical Game Studios, WPRT-FM Pegram, WPUC HD2 Laverne, broadcasting 97.5 Murfreesboro, 106.3 Williamson County,
ESPN
1025 The Game, and the Game Nashville app.
A Cromwell Media Station.
Live from the Game Nashville studios, it's time for Darren, Daunic, and Chase. With hosts Darren McFarland, Willie Daunic, and Chase McCabe. On Nashville's best sports talk,
ESPN
1025 The Game.
Third hour, Darren, Daunic, and Chase, Indy Base, here on this rainy Thursday. Remember, be cognizant of the weather this afternoon. Not sure where this is going, but just be on alert. Darren McFarland, Willie Daunic, Derek Mason with you. A man who has been flying high, I'm sure, for about a week, especially the last 72 hours or so. Brad Hopkins, affectionately known as B-Hop. I guess he is back from L.A. and the parade. We'll find out if he's got his shirt on. B-Hop, what's going on?
You know, the funny thing is, I told Bryson that because I didn't see the parade because I was actually on a flight. And I said, I hope you, for goodness sake, you had a shirt on, especially when I saw everybody else. He said, yeah, he had a shirt on. It was a little long, but he did have his shirt on, so he was fully clothed as he was rolling through the streets of Los Angeles with the rest of the team. Anyway, what's up, fellas?
Well, we're sitting here on this Thursday, and so what has this been like? I mean, since Sunday night, what has this ride been like for you?
Yeah, it's kind of crazy because when you started thinking about what the possibilities were when obviously the Rams put together the kind of roster that could win championships, and they made good on that potential. But just watching it, the possibilities, thinking, man, this could be pretty crazy to have Bryson playing for the team that actually beat us in the Super Bowl, right, Max?
Yeah.
And to have it and you know how his journey has been. He hasn't been active a whole bunch, and he's behind some really, really talented players, and he gets the opportunity. And not only does he get the opportunity to go in there and participate, but he shines. Mm-hmm. So, just talking about being ready and doing all those things that, committed professionals do, I've got to tip my cap to him for at least being ready to answer the bell when it's called.
So, Brad, in our group text, every time Bryson caught a ball, we were like, there's the text machine was going in our group text. So that's one thing for us sitting here in Nashville watching and texting about your son. What was it like being there, watching him catch 4 passes? I mean, he's targeted 4 times and had four catches for 47 yards. What was it like watching it in person?
So the very first play, the kickoff, he was in on the first play. So I thought, you know what? If he just participates on special teams, that's going to be cool. He he can feel like he well deserved a ring if they were to win it, just whatever,
Right.
But then as the game started to progress, and it was just him and Kendall that were active as far as tight ends because obviously Tyler Higbee wasn't dressing. But then Kendall hurt his shoulder, which meant that Bryson was going to be doing carrying the workload. And I just thought that after the first pass, and it's great. Now you've got a catch, and it was a good catch. One that contributed to a first down. So.
What did you do, by the way, Brad? What did you do when he caught it? Did you shake Kristen? I mean, did you jump up and down?
Did you go airborne?
Yeah, what did you do when he caught it?
Well, so when I caught it, everybody else was kind of golf clapping a little bit, right? Well, I jumped up with my 88 jersey, and I just screamed, so everybody's like, they see that, now they're giving me the high fives because I got the 88 jersey on. I'm looking around for some acceptance. Like, yeah, it's all right. I scream like a maniac. So everybody's like, cool. You're good. So they understood. But I was in the family section, so it wasn't like, other families weren't cheering for their kids and they were doing stuff too. But anyway, it was pretty cool. I did act like a maniac in his first catch.
So you did act like a maniac. So now you're feeling it, right? Like you're like, all right, let's get two. And then he catches the second one. And it's like, then he has the big conversion. I don't remember I don't think that was maybe the third catch where, he moves the sticks at that point. Like, what are you thinking? And by the way, the game is starting to turn as well.
Yeah, so now we're done with the whole fanfare of it all. Bryson made a catch. Bryson contributed to the game in Super Bowl. We're moving on past that now. Now we're talking strategic. Now we're talking about let's possibly win a ring. You know what I mean? Now it's getting serious now. And I'll say that it's great to have Bryson participate in the Super Bowl and finally get some well-deserved credit for the hard work he's put in this year. But this is just the beginning. We're happy, we're elated. To obviously win a Super Bowl is an amazing feat. But the dude's only been in the game for 730 days. You know what I mean? So,
wow. Given
the fact that he's got a lot more left in the tank, and there's a lot more that we're yet to see from Bryson, that's the thing I'm excited about. You know what I mean? Sure, those are goals, team goals, and the things that you actually play this game for. But to see him make a career out of this, that's what I'm most excited to see.
Well, do you think that literally what we're talking about is going to kind of change, maybe where he fits into their plans moving forward because of that?
I think it would be kind of silly to deny his talent. Put it this way. If the Rams didn't recognize it, I guarantee 31 other teams did. So that's the way we have to play this situation. And I think Bryson's happy where he's at. I think he's starting to still, finally starting to gel and come into his understanding of the system. Listen, Sean's system is very complex, and for a dude coming in and it's his second year to have an impact, it's hard to do that, which is why the offense is as effective as it is. And it's got some it's got the Triple Crown winner, for goodness sake. You know what I'm saying? So there's so many other assets and weapons on that team for him to find his niche. We'll see what happens. But I think people know from here on out that the kid can play. And the sky's the limit. We've yet to see his full potential. And, with that, I think the eye in the sky don't lie. The dude can block, he can catch, he can do all the things that are required of a tight position. He's got the physical stature to be able to do it. And, his experience will then lend to his IQ, and he'll be just fine.
So, I guess 2 layers to this. So, Cooper Kupp gets the go-ahead touchdown. So now the team you're rooting for that your son is on is in the lead late. So talk about what that moment was like, and then the Aaron Donald sack to seal it. What was that moment like?
That was it. That was just you knew then, Darren, that, this is really going to happen. It seemed like the sun and the moon and the stars were lining up for it to happen. But, when the drive started, getting to the point where you're in the red zone, you know what I'm saying? And they had multiple attempts to get in, I think, on the goal line. So we knew it was going to happen. Could the defense hold? That was the question. Because, Joe Burrow, this dude has been electric all year. He plays with that ice water in his veins for a reason. So for him to deal with a slight deficit, that was a concern for us because, offensively they've been great. But they were able to turn up the pressure, 7 sacks on the year. Obviously, they say they had, $26 million in cap space, all of which they should use in the offensive line in Cincinnati because Burrow cannot end up in the season every year on the injured list. You know what I'm saying?
They called you, by the way? Have the Bengals been in contact with you at all?
Asked me to, yeah. Fat chance. But anyway, but you see the point. This is a very talented team, so you couldn't just kind of say, we got this one in the bag, because we've seen Cincinnati in this position time and time before. That's the reason why they're in the Super Bowl.
Brad, to be honest, I thought it was going to OT, man. Exactly what you're saying.
Right.
I was like, this is going to OT.
And they were moving the ball, Darren, weren't they?
Yeah.
I mean, we saw them moving the ball. Chunk plays here, chunk plays there. I'm thinking, oh, my goodness, they're going to give up just enough yards for them to kick a field goal and end up tying this thing up. And, because, Evan McPherson, dude's automatic. You know what I mean? So, it just happened to be that Aaron Donald turned up the heat just when he needed to, and, did exactly what he almost prognosticated in the NFC Championship game, pointing to that ring finger. That's what he wanted, and that's what he ended up getting. And, I think that just their ability to kind of turn it on when they needed to, I guess when they needed to most, was pretty impressive. But this has been a defense that's been impressive all year.
Brett, talk more about Bryson, because I don't think people realize what he had to go through physically. Being at Innsworth, having injuries, and then, getting a scholarship to go to Purdue, and then getting drafted and ultimately winning a Super Bowl with the L.A. Rams. But people don't know that, there was a time where he was injured at Innsworth, and it was like, okay, is he going to continue to play football?
Yeah, I mean, his back problems, knees. I can't think. Shoot, Gentry, his sister, has worse knees than he does. But he was.
Is that because of you, B-Hop?
The genetics, the old genes there. Yeah,
gene pool.
You know what? Mine isn't genetic. Fred Miller blew my knee out. We'll get into that some other day. But Derek, Bryson, because he's your nephew. He was a basketball player.
Mm-hmm.
Football was just something that somebody mentioned to him passing in the hallway. You know what I'm saying? Because he got hurt as a young player and really didn't want to play football anymore. Then he took the opportunity to play tight end and excelled at it enough to help Innsworth win a couple state titles and almost like a burning passion to play the game. No one really recruited Bryson. I remember Darrell Bevel. The first day the recruiting was available, he was sitting in our living room with his butt on our couch, talking to us about how our son could, obviously have an impact on their program. And he sat behind Cole Herdman for a couple of years, who was an obvious starter, a great player. Got an opportunity to create a 1-2 tandem in those two players, and ended up becoming an All Big Ten player. And the rest is history. I mean, it's history as far as his young career is concerned. Him getting into the league. Not really being active a whole bunch. The unfortunate part is he came into the NFL during COVID. He was lucky enough to get the combine in, didn't have a pro day, obviously didn't have a training camp, didn't have a preseason. There's a lot that was against him. In his first year, they ended up drafting another tight end, same draft round that they drafted Bryson the year before. So it looked like, oh, my God, the kid's going to get buried on the roster. And just didn't really look like this is going to be the fit for Bryson. But he was told by people in the building to just keep his head down and keep working. I always fortified that in him to just continue to work hard and just be ready when your number gets called. And I remember that when Tyler Higbee got hurt the first time, and Bryson called me and he said, "Dad, I'm up." I was talking to our tight end coach, and I'm up, and I was so jacked. And then I remember him calling me the day before, and he said they're going with Kendall in the lineup because he has more experience. There was not a more devastated voice on the other side of that line than when he had to tell me that news. It crushed him. And, he sat patiently behind Kendall while Kendall went in, filling in for Tyler Higbee, and, kind of did some really good things. And, I was excited for him to get an opportunity, too, because here's an undrafted player that came in the year before Bryson, just fighting on a roster like anybody else. And finally, Bryson gets his opportunity in the grandest stage, and he put in. So it's been a crazy journey, Derek, like you mentioned. And to see him standing there, as you saw in that picture that I put on Twitter, and we're just staring at each other, I'm like, I can't believe you did it, man. But, it's just a testament to his hard work and his heart and commitment to just doing whatever it is that he does.
We're talking to Brad Hopkins, longtime left tackle for the Tennessee Titans. Son Bryson has a Super Bowl ring. And, Brad, we're going down memory lane here. Sparked my memory. I think we've told this story before on the air years ago, but when Bryson was a sophomore, I thought about this during the Super Bowl because what we're talking about here, ready to go when your number's called, you get in there, you got to do a job. State championship game. And I don't know exact year, Brad, you probably remember, but Bryson was in 10th grade. He wasn't playing as much. This was Corn Elder, very deep Ensworth team, playing against Memphis Briarcrest. Austin Nichols, this guy was a player. He and Corn Elder, I think, each had over 40 points. One of the best high school games that I think I've ever gotten a chance to broadcast. Mark Howard and I did the game. And here comes Bryson Hopkins into the game late because of some foul trouble. He's got to guard Austin Nichols in the overtime. And Ensworth pulls it out. And I just remember looking at Brad, and I saw you after the game. You were so proud in that moment but you just used the phrase, right? Being ready when your number is called.
Absolutely. Because that was my story. I've got to be honest. Couldn't stand football. Mace, I was like Bryson, a basketball player at heart. It's not many 6'5", 280-pound guards, so started looking at other skill positions, and the thing is, God puts you in a position for a reason. We had to deal with the things that that would make us hungry, so that way we would be ready for these moments, And Bryson did the exact same thing, and it's amazing, Willie, that you remember that because that put a smile on my face because that was actually one of the first pinnacle moments of Bryson's athletic career where I said, you know what, this dude can compete,
Yep, you look for those signs, right?
That. Exactly. And he loves basketball. And Cornell, what a talented player. How about all these talented players from the Nashville area?
I know. So awesome.
We talked about it yesterday.
What is going on, man, right?
Yeah, we talked about it yesterday. So it's a lot, and there are plenty more to come.
I mean, look at Bryson's teammates, Van Jefferson and Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly. I mean, shoot, Justin Jefferson, Jawan Jennings, UT. I mean, still, who else? Dawson Knox. I mean, there's a ton of dudes from the area that are not just playing in the league, though. They're household names.
Yes.
It's crazy. I know. Those are Nashville kids.
Exactly.
So did you do snow angels in the confetti? What'd you do on the field?
No, just Greg Gaines was doing snow angels in front of me when I got on the field. I was like, I almost tripped over him.
Excuse me.
That's kind of cool. It'd be kind of silly if I did it, But so how about this? I had to fly to Fort Lauderdale to go to Brandon Marshall's House of Athlete and speak to their athletes yesterday. And I had on the Rams pullover. And the guy that's actually working with the D-line, he walked up to me and goes, "Oh, so now you're a Rams fan like that, And I go, "Well, yeah, my son won the Super Bowl." And he goes, "Oh."
Oh, my bad.
but he got smart with me because his brother was a Bengal.
Uh-huh.
So that's why he was put off by the fact that I came into the facility all the way in Florida, donning this Rams gear. He had no idea that. And that's probably one of the coolest moments. I was watching Good Morning Football, and one of the guys on there gave Bryson the game ball. His game ball.
Wow.
And as he was kind of describing who Bryson was, he said, and Bryson Hopkins, son of former Titan Brad Hopkins, and the other guy goes, "What?" Like he was completely, like he had no idea. And I think that's probably been most of the sentiment when this thing is going down. Like people just don't, make the correlation that Bryson is my boy.
No, because he's much more handsome than you, man.
And that's the truth. They don't think that Trey Hopkins is my brother. They don't think that DeAndre Hopkins is my brother. Dustin Hopkins. We ain't cousins. You know what I'm saying?
Wasn't there? There's a kicker Hopkins too, isn't there?
Yeah, it's Dustin. I think
that's right, Dustin. That's right. You said it.
Hey, I want to ask you a quick question, Brad. Were you as nervous on game day for your son as you were for yourself on game day, the Super Bowl?
I love this question.
Good question.
More nervous.
No question. I as a dad watching my son, I'm totally in that camp. Way more nervous.
Willie, right. Let me speak to it. I mean, there's so many more nerves, for well wishes of our kids. You obviously want the environment, everything else to be perfect for them. You can't control that, so It is what it is. But then to have them go out there and perform, you just want them to do their best. Me, Derek, you know how I play the game, bro. I wasn't nervous about anything. I'm going out there trying to hurt somebody. So it just, in that potential, it's just different. My mindset going into the Super Bowl was not like, oh my God, Faith Evans Faith Hill was doing the Star Spangled Banner and all this other craziness is going on. No, it's just, hey, we got to go out there and we got to play a game against a stout defense. You know what I mean? So that's all my focus was. I wasn't nervous at all. But I was sitting there nervous in the stands as I was putting my lanyard on for the halftime show, baby. Woo!
How was that, by the way? Tell us about that.
Oh, my God. Don't even get me started, bro. Don't get me started. Listen, when Lose Yourself came on, when that first, you know how that do that started out?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. You could just feel the SoFi was like, ooh, starting to get, and when they dropped the beat and he was going in, everybody had a hand up and was waving. It was so sick. Of course, Snoop was ridiculous. Dre probably shouldn't have worn the leather jacket. Sure he was a little hot in it after he got going. And, 50 did a good job coming in like Spider-Man. He did a great job, too. It was fun.
Yeah, but Biop, when you're worth $800 million, you can wear whatever, you know?
Wear a leather jacket.
$800 million.
I
actually was shocked to find out that, they didn't get anything to do that. They actually paid out of the pocket to perform in the Super Bowl.
Well, it reaps benefits. As you know, it reaps benefits on the other end for them.
Yeah. Well, that's true. Hey, how in the heck can you have a West Coast tribute without having Mr. Cube on the stage?
Yeah, you're right about that.
Well, it's a good point. It's a good point. But the problem is, and I'm sure they face this, is where do you cut it off? I mean, we could probably sit here and start listing more artists and be like, oh man, they belong in there too. It's like, I guess there probably had to be a cutoff somewhere.
Well, the thing is, I think what they did was they encapsulated not all genres, because you didn't see Mick Jagger up there, but you did see R&B with Mary J. Blige. Obviously, hip hop was representative, but you saw the East Coast. You saw the Midwest. You saw the West Coast. So even though we saw the map of Los Angeles as the
country
bottom,
was represented.
Yeah, exactly. The whole country was represented.
Well, we really appreciate you just kind of telling us about your experience. We've been, like I said, we were texting during the game, and we knew we wanted to talk to you and tell you congratulations, and of course, pass that along to Bryson. It's just so cool to watch, and like you said, I thought you said it best. I mean, to see these Nashville kids that we watched here grow up to, not only be in the league like you said, but to be names in the league. It's just amazing. It's so proud.
I will say, fellas, and I appreciate your well wishes. That's the most exciting part about all of this. We know that Bryson has a pretty good nucleus here, a good support cast, a good support system here in the Middle Tennessee area. But to see the people across the country just reaching out, expressing how excited they were for Bryson, and some of them were just almost elated to tears. That right there, it just shows you're doing the right things. When people wish well for you, and your character speaks for yourself and your family, to have people reach out and say, job well done, and we can't wait to see what his future is like. That means the most to me and my family. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Well, he's going to make more memories, but, man, he'll certainly be able to take these memories with him the rest of his life and be able to tell this story for sure. Brad, good to talk to you. Thanks so much for doing this. Enjoy the wave. The ride is not over. A lot more to come, and we'll check in with you down the road.
Yes, have a great day, and stay dry today.
All right,
we'll try. That's B-Hop right there. Bryson Hopkins, his son, 4 catches, 47 yards, Super Bowl champ, was playing at Ensworth right here in town. Pretty cool story. And like we said, others to follow, and other Nashville kids on that roster as well, or at least played football right here in the mid-state. Let me talk to you about Creation CBD. You hear me talk about them every day because they present our show. And if you have aches and pains on your body, like I do, then for whatever reason, whether you're really active or you're just getting older, or your body's not cooperating, look, and you're looking for that solution like me, well, I've got it. Creation CBD. Creation means healing, and that right there says it all. Creation is locally and organically sourced CBD products from right here in Middle Tennessee. From seed to final sale, Creation is passionate about providing quality products for everyday use and for your pets too. Maybe you have a pet, like today with the storms, this morning, some really loud thunder. They get high anxiety, or when you leave the house, you leave them alone, they get anxiety. Well, they've got products that can calm them down in those situations. Or if you have a pet like we do that has medical issues like seizures and has had them for years, and the pills and the vet visits, whatever they did, nothing changed. We've put her on the pet tincture from Creation CBD since last August. Nothing. Everything has gone away. We didn't even think it was possible. It has been a life changer for her and for us too. Do me a favor. When you check out at CreationCompany.com, put in that code DDC25. DDC25. That'll get you 25% off your order. I know a lot of you have already been doing that. Continue to do that at CreationCompany.com. It's Creation CBD, curated for life.
Meshing journalism.
They are 2 scores behind you. The math says that increases your chances of winning.
With sports fandom.
I stayed up till 1:30 in the morning, just emotionally numb from Titans and Packers.
And sarcasm.
You guys are the worst.
Robbie Stanley and Joe Rexrode are Robbie and Rexrode. No duh. Weekday mornings from 6 to 10. Brought to you by Little Guys Movers on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
1025 The Game and the Game Nashville app. Watch live on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube.
The 2022 SEC Women's Basketball Tournament is back in Nashville as Bridgestone Arena hosts the annual celebration of SEC's Women's Hoops March 2nd through the 6th. Join us and experience the bright lights of the Music City as we crown a champion. Tickets are on sale now, so contact your university ticket office or head to secsports.com. SEC Women's Basketball. It just means more.
Men, what if I told you that now you're able to get testosterone replacement therapy in the comfort of your own home? No more weekly trips to the doctor's office. We come to you 7 days a week, 12 hours a day. Be seen by a licensed medical professional in the privacy and comfort of your own home or office. You decide. Schedule your appointment today at CoolSpringsMDformen.com.
Hey Nashville, hockey's coming to Music City for the NHL Stadium Series game, and to celebrate, FanDuel Sportsbook is giving all customers a $10 bonus when you bet at least $20 on any NHL game from February 15th to February 18th. Plus, you'll be automatically entered to win 2 free tickets to the Stadium Series game. It's going to be awesome here, folks, here in Nashville at Nissan Stadium. And it's going to be awesome on FanDuel Sportsbook if you want to get in on this deal. Don't miss your chance to watch the Predators take on the Tampa Bay Lightning at the first ever outdoor NHL game in Tennessee. Enter today by betting at least $20 on any eligible NHL game. Like, for example, you can go Preds Caps on February 15th, Preds Hurricanes on the 18th. Those are 2 huge games for the Preds. I like their chances to bounce back at home against the Capitals after a couple tough losses here in a row. Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Sign up using promo code JOE102. FanDuel Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL. You must be 21 or older and present in Tennessee. Bonus issued is now available. Site credit that expires in 7 days. Max bonus $10. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line 800-889-9789.
If you've missed any of today's show, just search Darren, Daunic, and Chase on Apple, Spotify, or on your favorite podcast platform.
Special thanks to Brad Hopkins for joining us, talking about his experience in L.A. at Super Bowl 56. Back here on the DDC. Let's give away some tickets. We're in a good mood, in a giving mood. Let's see who's listening. 615-737-1025. That's our phone line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Let's give away tickets to see Kevin Hart at Bridgestone Arena. That'll be Saturday night, September 10th. Tickets go on sale tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. But you're going to have to answer this question. We're going to make you work for it. It's a good prize. You have to work for this, just like yesterday. On this day, we've got another one of these. On this day in 2012, the Predators traded for this player from the Canadiens. The Predators made a trade with Montreal on this day in 2012 and acquired what player? Tell Max Hers at our Hillside Medical Game Studio who that player is, and you're going to see Kevin Hart at Bridgestone Arena in September. What player did the Predators acquire on this day in 2012 from the Canadiens? Answer that, and you're going to Kevin Hart.
Billy White Shoes Johnson.
Oh, good guess, but incorrect.
You know, D-back, we were Daunic and I were dealing with aches and bodies, man. You know,
aches and bodies.
We had some aches and bodies.
Clearly, I don't read whatever's in front of me because it doesn't say that in the copy.
It's a tough thing when you're dealing with aches and bodies.
Man, as you get older, those aches and bodies, boy.
They really creep up on you.
Oh, boy. By the way, we're getting a lot of guesses. Wrong guesses.
Ooh, okay.
Wrong guesses.
If you check Twitter,
don't
worry, somebody's got it. Don't worry. Don't worry. I knew. I see the X's on the thing. So,
okay, we finally got a winner.
Yep.
Darius Leonard.
He's tall.
He's tall.
You can give the answer now because the winner has been registered.
For sure?
Yep. Max is taking information as we speak.
One Harold Gill.
And I am
affectionately known as Skillsy.
I'm actually sitting exactly where I was when that trade happened. And it was a Predators pregame show. And we learned about it about an hour before the game because we had just gone on the air, and that's when the trade happened.
Do you realize that was the last season you would be sitting in that chair?
The last full season,
Last full season.
No, actually second to last season because the next year was the abbreviated lockout-shortened season. I did do it that year.
Is that right?
Yeah, because it was the end of the 2011-2012 season. Hal joined for the stretch run. They beat the Red Wings in the first round and then lost to the Coyotes in the second round. Good run. I mean, the victory over the Red Wings is probably underrated in franchise history, just being able to beat them after so many times running up against them in the past. But Hal was traded for Blake Jeffrey-on, remember? Speaking of local products, we just talked about Bryson Hopkins coming up through here.
And a second-round pick, I believe.
Correct.
Yep. So there you go. Who knew Hal Gill would be the answer to a trivia question today for Kevin Hart tickets?
Oh, Hal.
Hal had some value. Second rounder and Blake Jeffrey-on, who was a good player. He had his moments. Got injured after he left the Predators. It was really a freak thing. It kind of derailed where he was going. But he had his moments
the lines of our theme we just had, a kid that grew up in that was the first Nashville kid to get drafted in the NHL, right?
Yep, as I just said.
Yeah, pretty cool. Pretty cool. So congratulations, Andrew in Murfreesboro. A lot of people evidently were guessing PK Subban. Not in 2012.
Nope, that was not during the season. That was, of course, in the summer. Our lives will never be the same after that day.
Well, we had that yesterday, right? When I said Chicago Blackhawks and people were guessing Ryan Hartman. But
it's hard. The years
not in 2004.
Listen, I get it, man. The years start running together.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So congratulations to Andrew in Murfreesboro for listening. It pays to listen to this show, and now you can go enjoy Kevin Hart. You know, we had Mike Florio on the show yesterday. He's with Pro Football Talk, and I was just reading a story that they put out during the break, and the headline says, Darius Leonard says the thought of tackling Derrick Henry motivates his off-season workouts. Thought that was interesting.
It should.
Yeah. Darius Leonard probably isn't the only one that thinks like that. Mm-hmm. But I can only imagine, and he said, in a quote, in the offseason, I think about him. When I am working out, I think, what drills am I going to do to make it better to face Derrick Henry, one of the best backs in the league? No, he's the best back in the league, Darius. And I know you have to say that because you've got your teammates with Jonathan Taylor, but Derrick Henry is the best. I always joke and say he is like a defensive end playing running back. He is a workhorse, and you can see it in the offseason. You can see it in the fourth quarter. When things get tough, he is breaking a run for 70 yards, and that just goes to show you what type of player he is. It is amazing competing against Derrick. That is from Darius Leonard.
Well, I mean, if you look at it, there's always going to be, if you have an outstanding or marquee defensive player, there's always going to be that one guy on the offense that they continuously face and, doesn't seem to quite have an answer for. You can go back to, our days playing against the Ravens. Ray Lewis and Eddie George. And it's been documented. Ray Lewis put on some weight and muscle and got a little bit bigger and stronger because he had to face Eddie George at 6'4", 240, 250. You may get him once or twice, but if you got to, if he's coming between those tackles, 25 to 30 times like Eddie George was, then you got to do one or two things. Either you got to retire or you got to get bigger and stronger. And Ray got bigger and stronger. And it just made that rivalry between those two and our team even better. And I'm pretty sure Darius Leonard is looking at it the same way. The rivalry between the Titans and the Colts is a good rivalry. Now the rivalry between Darius Leonard and Derrick Henry can be another story to a saga.
They know they've got to go through the Titans to get where they want to go.
Absolutely. So he has to get bigger and stronger to face Derrick Henry play in and play out.
We come back, guys. I want to weigh in on what Butch Spearden said to us because I'm kind of you know how I operate, and I kind of read between the lines with some things that he said. I'm going to tell you my gut feeling, or at least what I started thinking about with some of the things that Butch Spearden said to us. We'll do that on the other side here on the DDC, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Here they come, turn 4, final.
Hey, it's Chase McCabe. Join me every Sunday morning at 8 as we take a look around the world of auto racing and talk to some of the biggest names and cover the biggest events like the Daytona 500. It's all presented by Social Furniture on Charlotte Avenue in West Nashville. Shop local, shop social, and listen on ESPN 102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
The IRS is ramping up collection, and if you owe back taxes or have years of unfiled tax returns, listen carefully. Before it's too late, check your eligibility for the Fresh Start program still offered by the IRS to reduce or even eliminate your tax problems. Call our special hotline number now and find out in minutes if you qualify for these life-changing debt reduction programs. Business or personal, if you're in a payment plan with no end in sight, have unfiled tax returns, under audit, have a wage or bank levy, or finally just want to know your options, call the experts at Republic Tax Relief and stop collections immediately. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau with a 5-star rating from Yelp, this veteran-owned company has the fight you need to take on the IRS. Don't go at it alone. Call their hotline number now, 800-819-1120. That's 800-819-1120. Find out if you qualify today. Call 800-819-1120 or go to republictaxrelief.com.
Backyard Blues Pools is your one-stop shop in Middle Tennessee for all your pool needs. Voted the #1 pool company in Rutherford County for 11 straight years. They have everything from new installs down to their 5-star cleaning services. Backyard Blues Pools at 2812 Old Fort Parkway and coming soon to 2126 North Thompson Lane in Murfreesboro. Honk your horn when you see their big yellow truck with the Lazy Penguin. Call now for all of your pool needs. 615-907-4200.
If you suffer from chronic joint pain, don't assume that steroid shots, pain pills, and surgery are your only options. You can call now to get real, lasting, life-changing relief from QC Kinetics. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in using biologic therapies to repair damaged tissue in your aching joints. The success rate is staggering. People with knee and back pain, shoulder pain, hip pain, they're moving again, enjoying life again with help from QC Kinetics. This advanced, unique treatment protocol uses natural biologic agents, mostly from your own body. These powerful, highly concentrated growth factors are put directly into your affected joint, going to work to soothe the inflammation and restore damaged tissue. A truly regenerative treatment. No surgery, no drugs, no downtime. Finally, a new, different, highly successful approach to dealing with joint pain. Is it time you got a second opinion? Call the local medical professionals at QC Kinetics now. 615-249-4024. 615-249-4024. That's 615-249-4024 for QC Kinetics.
Hey, Darren McFarland here, and I'm excited to tell you about the folks at Spring Hill Heating and Cooling. Spring is just around the corner, and if your AC or heating unit is old and inefficient, then you need to take advantage of the Spring Hill Early Spring Special in the month of February. Save up to $1,000 for Spring Hill Heating and Cooling. Get a York unit with a 10-year parts and labor warranty with up to 60 months no-interest financing on all York units. Restrictions do apply. Schedule now at springhillac.com. Spring Hill Heating and Cooling, a York-certified comfort expert company.
Tonight,
60 laps will set the lineup for the 500, and we are underway.
The best in NASCAR hit the high banks of Daytona for the annual duels to determine the starting lineup for the Daytona 500. Coverage begins at 6
on ESPN,
102.5 The Game, and the Game Nashville app.
Hey, this is Ryan Johansson. You're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Thank you, Joey. Back here on Darren, Daunic, and Chase. And D-Base. Chase is pulling up to Daytona here any minute. He's close. He can smell the fumes. We'll have a lot of coverage from down there.
I do wonder how far away you can smell the fumes how close to the track do you have to be? Like a mile away, half a mile away, can you smell like the rubber, the fumes,
So do you think you can smell it if you're outside?
Like you get that breeze, that ocean breeze is blowing it.
So you can. Yeah, you should be able to.
It's not really on the ocean, so
it's close though. It's not far.
But then you got to factor in all the food smells.
I still think you get that breeze near that. It's close enough to that ocean breeze that blows. I just wonder. I wonder. I never went there. I grew up about an hour's drive, but I never went to the race.
Oh, okay.
Like I went to Daytona Beach a couple times, but I never
been to Daytona Beach, nor have I been to the race.
Yeah, Orlando's not far. In fact, that's usually where we would stay.
Yeah.
You stay Orlando when you go down, and then you stay the last night in Jacksonville so you can be right by the airport and head out.
Willie, I'm surprised
you fly into Orlando, you fly out of Jacksonville.
I'm surprised you didn't go, Willie. I mean, your name is gold down in Orlando, isn't it?
Nobody said, "Hey, Willie,
yeah,
come on over to the race. Come on,
exactly.
I got you." Just never had that kind of pull for the race. I guess didn't know the right people. Citrus Bowl. Had good seats at the Citrus Bowl.
I mean, when I think Daytona 500, I think Citrus Bowl. No doubt.
Exactly.
Same breath.
Well, I respect your ambition, Willie, but you got to have vision.
That was right on time. Oh, man.
All right. I know what you guys are going to say on the front end. I get it. And that's fine. I'm okay with it because I know where you're going to go when I say this. And maybe there's a little truth to it. Maybe I'm trying to talk myself into this. But I will say that I did get a little geeked when we talked to Butch Spearden to start the second hour today. Some stuff he was talking about. It did make me think, are they going back in the room and saying, all right, now hold on. This plan that we initially thought and we're moving forward with and have been discussing and coming up with, it's going to cost us all this money. For what? We're not going to get these big – it's not going to change the big events. It's not going to change that. That's what I've been trying to tell people. You can keep using this Hard Rock Cafe Stadium model all you want. Hard Rock Stadium, all you want. That's in Miami, Florida. We're in Nashville, Tennessee. They have way better weather. Sorry, this just in. Okay, that's a much further south, and it's a lot warmer there. They don't need a roof. Here, we do. What I took from it, and remember, I think it took them $600 million to renovate that many years ago. So if you're trying to model yourself around that, okay, so what? It's going to be, what, $800 million? And maybe they're in a room going, now wait a minute. If we're going to spend that kind of money, and we don't really want to be talking about a stadium that costs $1 billion, but if we're going to have to spend $800 million to do all this, and it's not even going to include a roof, and it's not going to change our real outlook, grand scheme of things, as in Super Bowl, Final Four, World Cup, everything. You get the roof, you get the retractable roof. Anything can come to Nashville, and they can host it, and that pads their pockets a lot. Why would we spend that kind of money? That doesn't make any sense. To me, I kind of got the sense from what Butch was saying that the reason we haven't heard this stuff is because maybe they've gone back in the room and said, well, look, if we're going to spend that kind of money, then maybe we just need to build the state-of-the-art facility and just go the whole way. Did anybody else get that feeling?
I didn't. For this reason, and Willie and I talked about it. One, okay, if you're going to go down that road of making this a whole new building, are you going to put it then right where it's at, or are you going to move it?
That's a great question.
Don't know. Then another thing, you know how expensive it is? Well, y'all know. I know. And anybody else that's trying to move into Nashville know how expensive, extremely expensive it is to live inside of Nashville. Taxes are gone up. Everything in Nashville is up, 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 and it doesn't seem to be stopping. Okay, so these taxpayers in Davidson County are saying, okay, everything is going up in Nashville, and you want us to pay for a stadium too? Help? That don't sit too well with us. So to me, those are the two reasons why, and they may not be great reasons, I don't know, but I'm just sort of thinking outside the box here. Because if you're going to have to, if you want to build a new stadium, if you want to put it right where it's at now, then the Titans are going to have to play somewhere else.
Is there room to have it close
Not
by?
what you want to. I'm pretty. Heck, the land seem to be going every day. If you got 400 yards of land, somebody's selling it and putting something on it. Okay, you can have a 10 by 10. Somebody putting something on it if it's for sale.
No question.
So where are they going to then find the land? Because it's right now, every big company that is moving here, they're buying up acreage of land that is in Nashville.
Well, like that area over by Topgolf is now going to become Amazon Park.
Absolutely.
That's all Amazon.
So you got to, if indeed you're going to do that, you got to say, are we going to leave it in the existing place, which means the Titans will have to play somewhere else for a year or two?
Oh, it'll be more.
Oh, it'll be
more
2 or
than a
3
year.
years. They will have to play somewhere else. And we're asking the taxpayers to pay for some of this too when everything in Nashville is going up.
Well, really, I think that's what it's going to come down to is how much of an investment do the Titans want to make with the idea. It's not that the Titans are giving money to the system, and just saying, here, we'll pay for everything. We love Nashville. The idea would be we love Nashville. We want the city to do well. We're partners. That's huge. But also, we're going to see a return on this investment long term, right? Maybe not tomorrow. And, yeah, we got to stroke a big check here, but look at the future and what will happen as a result. I think that's kind of Butch's vision.
Yep.
And so that makes sense to me. But once again, how much do you want to just, put down? That's just the thing about any investment. But what it seems to me, to all of us that have been watching this city for a long time, it's a pretty good investment. Like based on what we have done with all these events, it's a pretty good bet that investment will turn around really well to your advantage.
For who?
For
the city
Titans.
and the Titans.
For the Titans.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna play.
You're
I'm
worried.
Play
You're worried about how
here.
it's gonna someday.
Exactly.
Nashville may not be the growth city that it is today. You're saying
you may not. Every city goes
up and down. You're right.
Cyclical.
You're right.
Every city goes. We've been able to sustain ours longer, and I hope it continues.
We're in a great era right now.
Exactly.
Let's use. I mean, this is not a knock at Detroit right now, but Detroit used to be the absolute it city with when they were building auto in Motown.
Things were booming.
It was booming. It was the and now they're in a down cycle. Hopefully they'll come back up.
But I'm saying is, okay, you build this. If you build this stadium, which it would be great, it would be great for the city as a thing to look at or go watch events in it. Football games or whatever, or people coming in, events coming in. But does it mean it's going to be good for the whole? Will it bring more jobs in? Absolutely. But those jobs are not paying enough.
It's a fair point.
Exactly. So it's like you got to weigh both sides. Yes, it will bring jobs. Yes, it's good for the city. But it's only good for a few, not the whole. You know?
Gator Tim on our text line says, tax the bachelorette parties.
Yeah, tax them.
It's not a bad idea.
You're right about that.
You want some money. That's
Tax
how
them
you do it.
Well, we'll come back. We'll wrap up the third hour, continue the discussion on the other side here on Darren, Daunic, and Chase.
Jump in the mind of an NHL veteran as Predators analyst Hal Gill joins Stillman & Company Tuesday afternoons at 5:30.
Here they are in a pressure situation every night because they need 2 points.
And Robbie and Rexroad Thursday mornings at 9:30.
Goaltending, I think it might be an issue at some point.
Presented by Duncan on Smashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
From Fox 17 News, this is a Code Red weather alert.
I'm Fox 17 News Code Red meteorologist Dan Guthrie. Strong to severe storms will be possible this afternoon. Main threat will be damaging winds and a few brief spin-up tornadoes, so stay weather aware.
This weather report brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
Hey guys, it's Mike from Newton Nissan South. Can you feel that? Love is in the air. Maybe it's love for your significant other. Maybe it's love for Rome, your Bernese mountain dog. Maybe it's just love for chocolate. Wherever that love falls, this is the time to take it all in. But maybe take less of the chocolate in. So now that all the mushy stuff is out of the way, I'm going to tell you what we love. We love to help you. We love helping you find a new car when you need one. We love helping you keep your car running smooth with amazing service. We love partnering with you in the community to make a positive impact. Newton loves to help. We have a great selection of pre-loved vehicles on the lot for you right now. You can shop online and even start working your deal right now from your phone with Newton FastPass. Visit NewtonNissanSouth.com to shop or schedule service today. For the love of chocolate, see website for details.
Need cash for that home improvement or want to finally be credit card debt free? How does a check for 80 or 90 grand sound right now? Loan Pronto can do it for you, whether you have a VA loan or a conventional loan. They're helping local homeowners convert their home equity into cash with zero closing costs. Willie Daunic here. Listen, your home value is up. Let Loan Pronto tap that equity and get you the cash you need. Pay off high interest loans. Start that home remodeling project. Veteran homeowners are really loving this because with a VA loan, you can tap 100% of your home's equity. That's a ton of cash. Loan Pronto's all-digital process makes it fast and easy. They are doing loans with APRs in the 2s. And if you call now, you can even skip your next 2 house payments. Call now to see what your options are. Loan Pronto, 615-499-5780 or loanpronto.com. That's 615-499-5780. Equal housing lender, NMLS 166-1781. Subject to lender approval. Not all loans apply.
Finding the right person for the job isn't easy. Just ask someone who hired a lounge singer to be their office receptionist.
Hello, this is Mickey Marquis, and you've reached the office of Doug & Associates. Thank you very much. Catch me Tuesday nights at the Hotel Johnson. Hello?
But if you've got an insurance question, you can always count on your local Geico agent. They can bundle your policies, which could save you hundreds.
Doug & Associates, this is Mickey Market. Hello?
For expert help with all your insurance needs, visit geico.com/local today.
So, what is Jared Stillman going to say this afternoon?
You got to play if you want to earn $14.6 million next year.
Oh, brother, here we go.
But I'm done on investing money in dudes that can't get on the field.
Tune in to Stillman & Company, weekday afternoons from 2 to 6.
This is some serious stuff right here.
Delivered by TriStar Moving on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app. Watch live on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. Interact with Darren, Daunic, and Chase. Call or text the show at 615-737-1025. Driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com.
I'm sure this is a Willie D special right here.
You know
Cutting edge, guys.
You know it. New take on an old song.
have the Titans become a little cutting edge? That is the question. I get the feeling that they are starting to lean toward the right thing, the right way. Don't listen to old fuddy-duddy D-Mace over here. Get off my lawn. Get out of here, you kids. Too many kids in the neighborhood.
That used to be
Don't
you.
listen to him. It did. It did. Yes. Actually, it still is. If I'm being totally honest. Ask the neighbors. I think that maybe they're rethinking the right thing to do. And the right thing to do is what I've been saying all along. There's no sense. You're putting lipstick on a pig, okay? Don't spend all that money to put lipstick on a pig. It does no – you're not serving a grand other than you're sprucing up what you have.
Well, we don't know.
It's not going to change the outlook of all the stuff you can do. And I use this as an example. And during a couple years ago, our deck was in dire need of help. It was falling apart. It was unsafe. It was embarrassing to be out there.
I saw a commercial where somebody's deck went down. That was a recent one? The termites, they had a termite problem. It was a commercial for termites.
Yeah, it was just
people were on their deck, and it went down.
It was unsafe. Like I wouldn't have allowed you guys. I wouldn't have people that I like and
sign
are friends that I care about. I wouldn't let them out on our deck. People I don't care for, I'm like, come on out here or go check out the deck. Go over to the left a little bit more. Because, you could fall through. It was bad. Mm-hmm. And so we started talking about it, and, we started getting prices. So what do we want to do? So just to replace the existing deck and put down fresh wood and spruce it up was still going to cost thousands of dollars. Mm-hmm. And so we're like, okay, we know we have to do that. Like, we cannot keep it in the way that it is. Like, that has to be done. And it really does nothing. Like, a deck is fine, but it's not going to really do any great value for our home. Or do we just go the distance and do we just bite the bullet? You know what? Just spend and get what we want. Actually have something that we're going to use all the time, something that is going to add real value to our home. Yeah, it's going to hurt. Well, I don't like the price tag. That screened-in porch, the price tag was not for the faint of heart. I mean, I was like, I had to work out, grab my chest a couple of times every time I looked at, the estimate. But in the end, since we've had it done, it's the greatest thing we ever did. You know what? We're out there all the time. It's got great value. People come over. It's like an addition to the home. And we spend time out there, and it's going to add real value to this home. In the end, it was the right decision. It hurt, but in the end, it made sense. Because you know what? A deck, I don't like to sit outside on the deck. I'll be honest. You guys know me. At times I can be a snob. I don't want to eat with bugs. Like, I don't enjoy that. It's hot. You don't have any cover. Yeah, I don't enjoy that. So that's not for me. So before, there was no use for the deck. It was just used basically for the dogs. But now, so we could do that, and the same thing would apply. I would never use it. So it would look nicer. Great. It didn't really add any value or anything to our lives or to our home. Now, we've got an addition that we use all the time, that we're proud of, that, yes, we had to pay for, and, oh, by the way, we should get it back, the return on the investment with the value of our home. That's the way the Titans need to think. Yeah, it's going to hurt. Spend the money, do it, and then when the whole world is talking about the Super Bowl in Nashville or the Final Four in Nashville or the World Cup in Nashville, you're going to get back all that in your investment, or a SummerSlam, a WWE huge event, or the biggest concerts in the world are coming to play at your venue. You get all that back. You forget. It doesn't hurt anymore. Like, we don't think about that anymore. It's like, yeah, all right, we did it. It hurt, and it hurt for a while. And then after a while, you're like, you love it, you're glad you did it, and you forget about what you paid for it.
Sure. Mm-hmm. Derek and I were kicking this idea around. Mm-hmm. Imagine, and this is ancient history now, but imagine if day one, instead of Bud Adams coming from Houston to Nashville and saying, give me a sweetheart deal, I'll bring my team up here. And really not saying, I'll pay this, this, and this. It was basically, will you build a stadium? If you will, I'll come up. He got a sweetheart deal, right? There wasn't a huge investment I don't remember exactly if he did anything, right? He just kind of sat back. You want an NFL team?
Right.
You want an NFL team? I'll come. That's my end of the deal. I'll bring my team.
That's right.
But if he had the foresight, now I don't know how much money he had, but if the mindset was, I'll go in with you on a stadium and let's build the best stadium, what maybe that could have meant today. I'm just looking back on it. I don't know the answers of what was available to him at the time, but it was much more of a, hey, look, I have the leverage here. If you want my team, I'll bring it here, but you got to build the stadium. You got to do the PSLs, and you got to get the state money and all the stuff that we had to do. We had to win the referendum, for crying out loud.
I think right after, I'm trying to think of what other stadium was being built. Oh, M&T Bank was being built right around the same time. And theirs were much different than what Nissan Stadium was. I think their stadium was sort of like hey, listen, we're building this stadium for the future moving forward. Yes, we're going to have to update, but it won't be as much. They don't care to have a Super Bowl, so they're not going to put a roof over the stadium. They're not going to put a retractable roof over the stadium. But they did build the stadium so they then can, upgrade it, and it wouldn't cost as much. You're right, Willie. Maybe that should have been the forethought to say, hey, let's build this together, and let's build it so down the line we can slowly upgrade it and won't be such a big undertaking.
I'm with you on that, Willie. It was 25 years ago. It's in the past. Now you've got a chance to fix it. Now you've got a chance to make things right. And quite honestly, I get the vibe that Amy Adams Strunk doesn't operate like our father, and thank goodness, because her father wouldn't be. If her father was still running the show, it would be worthless to have this discussion, because I don't think he thought like that. But I don't get the vibe that she thinks.
You see that facility?
Like Bud did.
You see those facilities? They are nice.
Right, and that's not the way Bud had them. So I think she thinks differently than her father, and I hope that she continues to think differently than her father and does the right thing and just goes the distance. It's like Field of Dreams. Go the distance. Build it, and they will come. Just do that, and everything will be good. We'll come back. We'll switch gears. We'll start the final hour with Elliot Freeman. We do that next.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen.
Hey guys, it's the new year. Are you still struggling with erectile dysfunction? I've yet to meet anyone that enjoys timing those intimate moments around a pill. Well, now you don't have to. The advanced wave technology at Hillside Medical has been shown by Cambridge University and the Cleveland Clinic to restore and even regrow blood vessels. It can improve circulation and eliminate erectile dysfunction. No pills and no side effects. If you're ready to put a stop to your ED, call us in the next 2 minutes and you'll receive a consultation, assessment, and blood flow ultrasound free. Plus, a special gift that produces immediate results in the bedroom. You're going to love that. Trust me. This is a $600 value, free to callers now. 615-576-5000. That's 615-576-5000. Guys, get rid of your ED and get that spark back. Call Hillside Medical now to qualify. 615-576-5000.
Shop today at Social Furniture during their President's Day sale. You'll find everything for your home on sale now, and they have same-day delivery. Use Social Furniture's financing plan and pay no interest for 1 full year. For a limited time, they have designer sofas, solid wood bedroom furniture, leather sofas, and sectionals in stock now. Social Furniture's President's Day sale going on now through President's Day. Visit Social Furniture on Charlotte Avenue in West Nashville. Shop local. Shop social. Social Furniture is a proud supporter of your Nashville Predators.
Attorney Joe Cordell.
Think back to a time when you've had to contend with a difficult challenge in your life, but that, in the end, came out okay. I'm willing to bet that in almost all those cases, you had someone alongside you that you trusted, whether the challenge related to a career change, a health crisis, or even the death of a loved one. But if the challenge is divorce, and you're a guy, there's a good chance that your trusted friend for all life's challenges to date has been your spouse, whom the legal system now terms the opposing party. This is why guys notoriously are prone to feeling isolated and alone during the divorce process. The good news is you don't have to go through this alone. Let Cordell & Cordell be the partner that you can count on through the challenges of divorce. Call us at 866-DADS-LAW or visit CordellCordell.com. You are not alone.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Nashville area attorneys Attorneys. 866-DADS-LAW. 810 Crescent Center Drive, Suite 160, Franklin, Tennessee, 37067. CordellCordell.com.
Hey everybody, Robbie Stanley here to tell you about my friends at Jasper's as the neighborhood bar and restaurant to catch the next Preds game. Jasper's is located on West End Avenue and offers a fun atmosphere with a game room, TVs, and a large bar and lounge area. Plus, they offer free parking. That's right, free parking on West End, and offer specials for every Preds game day, including $10 smash burgers and $3 bottle domestics. So come on down to Jasper's next game day for happy hour every weekday from 4 to 6 p.m. and 2-for-1 beers all day on Sundays. Just tell them that Robbie Stanley sent you.
With PatriotSoftware.com, accounting and payroll, keep your time and money. Easy to learn, easy to use, small business software tailored just for you. With PatriotSoftware.com, accounting and payroll, keep your time and money.
From the Hillside Medical Game Studios, WPRT-FM Pegram, WPUC HD2 Laverne. Good morning. Morning. Robbie and Rex Road mornings from 6 to 10.
It's not bad. Might have to work on that. Not bad. It's a starting point.
ESPN.
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
A Cromwell Media Station.
Live from the Game Nashville studios, it's time for Darren, Daunic, and Chase. With hosts Darren McFarland, Willie Daunic, and Chase McCabe. On Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN.
102.5 The Game.
Final hour, Darren, Daunic, and Chase, along with Derek Mason, here on 102.5 The Game. ESPN Radio Nashville. Willie Daunic here with you, and we are about to be joined by Elliot Friedman from Sportsnet. 32 Thoughts is the podcast, and of course, he is a part of the big production Hockey Night in Canada. Great stuff. Love talking hockey with him every week. Elliot, welcome into the show. Plenty to get to, for sure. It is really heating up. And, of course, after the break, Nashville has stumbled a little bit here. And meanwhile, some of the teams around them, as is always the case, there's always some pressure that starts getting applied post-All-Star break. So first, let me get your thoughts on the deal that Calgary made. Obviously, they're playing great hockey right now. I think they've won, 8 in a row. And they have just acquired Tyler Toffoli. Is this maybe the move that has other teams around them in the standing saying, we got to do something here?
I do think they increased some conversation, guys. There's no question about that. Calgary really wanted to get Toffoli. There's a lot of connections there. The GM there, Brad Treliving, said this week that when he was in Arizona as an assistant, they considered drafting Toffoli when he was, I guess that was 2012 or 10 or something like that. And then when he was traded from the Kings to the Canucks, they were in on that too, didn't get him. So they've had a long interest in him, and the coach of the Flames, Daryl Sutter, of course, won Stanley Cups with Toffoli in LA. So they all know each other pretty well. Plus, the other thing is that Calgary has an unrestricted free agent winger in Johnny Gaudreau and another winger in Matthew Tkachuk, who needs a new contract after this year and is an unrestricted free agent potentially a year from now. And I know they want to keep those guys, and that's the long-term plan, but this gives them a little bit more of insurance on the wing. So they are going for it. They're a really good team. They've got a lead in the Pacific. They're better than we thought. They play a tough style. I think they're going to be a tough out for anyone who gets them. And I don't think Claude Giroux, for example, was going to Calgary, and they wanted an offensive player, and this fit was perfect for them.
And speaking of that division, the Pacific, Jack Eichel gets into the lineup last night. They fall short against the Avalanche, but just seeing him in the uniform has got to make them feel good, because I don't know that was a certainty, right, Elliot? We weren't exactly sure when he was going to play when they made the trade, but he's in there, he's in the fold, and he's only going to get better from here.
Yeah, I watched as much as I could. There was a lot of good hockey on last night. There were a lot of that Florida-Carolina game was a great game. Obviously the women's gold medal game was a huge game, and that game was a game I was watching too. To me, he was a little too wired, but I don't know how you would expect any different. He took 2 penalties. I'm not sure that that's going to be a regular occurrence for him. At least I hope not. And he just wasn't himself. Like that Colorado team is a hell of a team. They've got 1 loss in regulation since the middle of December. And, basically he got thrown into the deep end right away. And he's a good player, and he'll be fine. But last night he just wasn't up to yet the speed he's going to need to be. But long term, I mean, that Vegas team is going to be good, and he's going to be fine. I know that David Poyle is one of the GMs who doesn't really like all of the salary cap finagling, I guess is the best way to put it. But the horse is out of the barn. There's not much that can really be done about it now.
The Friedman rule, right? We talked about this last week. I noticed you used that term on your podcast as well, your fantasy football league. You have rule changes named because of you trying to find loopholes.
Yes, I used to do stuff like that. I used to do a lot of future considerations and things like that, and they just and I was one of those idiots who'd say, "Well, tell me where it says I can't do it." So any time that I would say that, they would say, "Okay, we're going to get you on this," and I would try to get votes to say, because we have like a majority vote. And I would say, guys, like, this is really good. It's exciting. People love it. And they'd be like, no, we hate you and we hate your ideas. And I would lose, 11-1 or 10-2 or something like that. I just think it's fine. Like, I know some people don't like it. I just think it's good. It makes the game more exciting. I think the fans like it. And you need villains, right? I mean, some people are going to see Vegas as a villain, just like they saw Tampa as a villain and Chicago as a villain. And so I think sports needs that. You need villains.
Well, let's just say that that Mark Stone isn't healed up until the playoffs. We know that will be a big story. If he comes back, he's activated for the playoffs, and they have the full complement of players without ever having to really give up anything when they were way over the salary cap. I would think it would come up, but as you said, it's already too late. The rule is the rule. So I'm curious, though, if Mark Stone is ready. Hockey players don't like to sit out if they're perfectly capable of playing, especially not a great player in his prime like Mark Stone. So if he is ready, so what could they do if let's say it's April 1st and it's past the trade deadline, and they would like to get these guys in? What are the options there?
Well, it's pretty funny. I asked that. I was talking about that with someone yesterday, and he laughed and he said, "That's when Max Pacioretty gets a hangnail or something like that."
Okay.
It's a good question. Now, I think the one thing that's different now, guys, is that the NHL. You guys obviously know Shea Weber. It's a perfect example to bring up. So last summer, when Shea Weber made it clear that he wasn't going to play again, the NHL wasn't so willing to accept that right away. And, it basically used to be when Chris Pronger didn't play again in Philly, they traded him to Arizona. And what he would have to do was after he was traded to Arizona, and I think he still had to be paid for 2 years. So if I remember correctly, what they did was he had to go to the beginning of training camp and take a physical, and he would fail it, and then they'd never see him again until the next year, and he would take a physical, and then they wouldn't, and basically they'd fail him. Well, one of the things the NHL has started to do more often is say, you have to come see the doctor, so we're sure. Like Shea Weber, I think this year he's had to see the doctor 2 or 3 times, which is a bit unique, just to make sure he can't play. So I think what's going to happen here is I don't think anybody's questioning that Mark Stone has a legitimate injury. I think he's missed 17 games this year with a bad back. I just think that what they'll monitor is, does it get to a point where a doctor says he can play? And then your scenario could open where what are they going to have to do to be cap compliant if at some point the NHL rules that he's got to come back, that he's healthy enough to play? I would be surprised if that happened, but there certainly has been a cry for a bit more enforcement.
Mm-hmm. Elliot, John Hines was fined $25,000. It kind of was a surprise to us. We didn't see much. I did see he was the last guy to leave the bench. It looked like he was trying to get a word with the officials. I don't know what he said or the motivation, but I was reminded of a discussion you and Jeff Merrick had earlier in the season on an incident that happened in Carolina. Of course, that's where Nashville is heading here. We're about to head for the airport. But so, hey, doesn't get much easier for Nashville. Hurricanes and then Florida are the next two on the road.
Mm-hmm.
But Rod Brindamore was fined, and it was an incident, if I recall, people didn't think it was crazy. But there's been, I guess, a point of emphasis to coaches that we're going to be watching you close, and we need you to cool it.
Well, I have to say this. I didn't think what Brindamore did was a big deal, guys, but I got roasted for that. People really disagreed with me. And which is proof that I'm right and they're all wrong. But I do have to say that I did have a lot of pushback on that one. From fans, which is perfectly fine, and some from people around the league. And the other thing I actually got was I had some people from minor hockey reach out to really disagree with me because they say that official abuse is a big problem.
Yeah, the trickle down, I guess.
Yes, and I don't always buy that. I like it. To me, it's like if your kid hears swearing on TV, you can laugh at it on TV and tell your kid, hey, don't do that. But I get it. They do feel very strongly about the trickle down effect, as you guys mentioned. I just think that I think that I disagree. Basically, the memo from the league was, if you criticize, we can fine you. And I don't really like that, but I've had some deeper conversations where people say that it's just basically what is said, and they don't want you to cross a certain line. And the one thing I would assume, and I don't know this for sure, and maybe someone can ask John Hines, was he warned? Brindamore had been fined once before. He'd been warned before. And they finally just said, you're not listening to our warnings or the previous fine. We're hammering you here. And I would be curious to know if Hines had been previously warned or anything like that, because it's supposed to be a warning first before they fine you. They try to understand that, these are pressure-packed jobs and people can snap. So I would be curious to know if he'd been warned before.
Yeah, it was ironic that they were playing Peter Laviolette in the Capitals because, as we saw here for 5 years, Peter Laviolette much more demonstrative with the officials than John Hines, for sure, or Barry Trotz for that matter. Elliot, hang with us.
Oh, yeah, some of those guys, I sometimes I wonder if he gets revenge calls because they remember some of the things he said to him all over the years.
Oh, yes. Some of them were captured on tape as well. Elliot Friedman is presented by Bank of England Mortgage. Glad to have him. More conversation with him on the other side. Darren will lead the questioning. Stay tuned. You're listening to ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Hey, I'm Ryan Johansson, and this is Smashville.
Back to Johansson, and Johansson tips it in with one hand on the stick.
You're listening to the flagship of the Nashville Predators radio network, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Hey, Nashville, hockey is coming to Music City for the NHL Stadium Series game, and to celebrate, FanDuel Sportsbook is giving all customers a $10 bonus when you bet at least $20 on any NHL game from February 15th to the 18th. Plus, you'll be automatically entered to win 2 free tickets to the Stadium Series game. Don't miss your chance to watch the Nashville Predators take on the Tampa Bay Lightning at the first ever outdoor NHL game in Tennessee. You can enter today by betting at least $20 on any eligible NHL game. Next one around here, of course, is Preds at Canes. I think the Preds are due to break out of a slump, but the Hurricanes are playing extremely well this year at home. I would go that way. There's a large menu of other options for you, of course, on the NHL schedule. All you got to do is download the FanDuel Sportsbook app and sign up using promo code Joe102. Get on the action. Get in the Stadium Series game. FanDuel Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL. You must be 21 or older and present in Tennessee. Bonus is issued as an outdraw site card that expires in 7 days. Max bonus $10. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line, 800-889-9789.
Middle Tennessee, you can count on an award-winning service team for all your home maintenance and improvement needs. Lee Company, we're A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau and trusted by thousands of homeowners in our community. Our team is ready to assist with all your home maintenance projects, heating and air conditioning, plumbing, electrical, appliance service, and more. Experience the convenience of calling one phone number for all your home maintenance needs. Call Lee Company today at 615-567-1000 or visit leecompany.com.
Mark Howard here to tell you about my friends at Apple Collision Centers. We all know being in a collision is not fun. Neither is all the stress that comes with it, and that's where Apple Collision comes in. Let them take care of everything for you. That's insurance, repair, and your rental details. They've got 3 convenient locations in Old Hickory, Hendersonville, and Gallatin. Their managers, Tommy Rippey, Daniel Neville, and Marty Denson, combined for over 75 years experience. So stop in today and tell them Mark sent you. Online at AppleCollisionCenters.com.
Smokeville Smoke Shop has been serving Hendersonville and Metro Nashville since 2015 and is committed to providing high-quality, hands-on, and personable customer service. Stop into Smokeville Smoke Shops in Hendersonville, Gallatin, Hermitage, and Goodlettsville to try any of their wide selection of locally sourced products and selection of top nationwide brands, including vapes, hookah, hand-blown glass, detox systems, e-juices, kratom products, leaf wraps, and much more. Visit Smokeville Smoke Shops today.
Hey, it's Chase McKay, Program Director at 102.5 The Game, and when our crew is out, we want to look our best. Thankfully, we have Authentically American taking care of all of our apparel. The way your team looks is everything. Enhance your company's image with the help of veteran-owned and operated Authentically American. For you parents out there, they'll take care of your kids' team apparel too. It's Authentically American, and yep, it's made in America. Check them out at authenticallyamerican.us. Mention the game and they'll handle the setup and artwork free of charge. That's authenticallyamerican.us.
If you've missed any of today's show, just search Darren, Daunic, and Chase on Apple, Spotify, or on your favorite podcast platform.
We're continuing our discussion with Elliot Friedman, Hockey Night in Canada, 32 Thoughts, Sportsnet. Every week he's presented by the Bank of England Mortgage. Back here on ESPN 102.5 The Game. Elliot, it seems like as we get closer to the trade deadline, I guess we're a little bit less than 5 weeks away, with the standings looking to me, and I know we've talked about this, the haves and the have-nots, I think it's got a chance to be pretty active, and we're already seeing some of that activity. But what concerns me is a little bit is when I start reading into where people are speculating, you know, Marc-Andre Fleury or some of these names to be on the move, it seems like all things are pointing towards the Predators division. You know, like Minnesota and St. Louis or Colorado. Are you hearing the same thing?
Well, I do think Colorado is going to take a big swing. I really do believe it. You know, I think they have interest in Claude Giroux. I think they have interest elsewhere. You know, they're a good team. They could win the Stanley Cup, and they've got some big salary cap questions to come between, you know, Nathan McKinnon and other players on that roster. So I do think Colorado's going to take a big swing. So if you're worried about something like that, you should be. You know, St. Louis, they're definitely looking at defensemen. I think they've been linked to Sherratt. Well, I know they've been linked to Sherratt from Montreal because I did that. I think also Jeff Chikrin from Arizona. I definitely believe they're looking to beef up on the blue line. Minnesota to me is a really interesting one because he really likes his team, but I think but also like we've talked about this, your playoffs this year in that division are going to be insane. Like they are going to be. Like, it's not going to be for the faint-hearted. You can't get pushed around, or you're going to get clobbered there. And you know, I think that Minnesota knows that. I think if they can find a center, they're going to go for a center. I do think they're going to do that. I think they have some interest in Christian Dvorak from Montreal, but the problem is he's got term. And the next couple of years, Bill Guerin, their cap is cut, right, because of the Suter Parise buyouts. So I think that it affects what he can do. But I do think he's going to look at some things. I definitely think all the people around you are going to be looking to upgrade. Now, what was interesting was, I guess Scott Nickel from the Predators was at an AHL game on the weekend with Lehigh Valley, and that's Philly's team, and I don't remember who they were playing, so people were kind of curious about that. But, to me, I don't see David Poile as someone who's willing to look and do anything short term, at least not major. I got to think he likes his group and he wants to see how they're going to do down the stretch.
Is Giroux the big? Is he going to be the most sought? Like, who's going to be the biggest name bantied about for the trade deadline?
I think it's probably Giroux. I think he's the best player available. Like, put it this way, guys. I think teams have asked Chicago, like, what would you ever trade? Like, just out of morbid curiosity, would Patrick Kane ever be available? But I don't see that happening right now. I mean, obviously, if that was to happen, he would be the biggest name, but I'm not convinced that's going to happen right now. I think that's something for later if it happens at all.
David Poyle joined us on Tuesday. You know that he joins our show every week. And what was interesting this Tuesday is he seemed to be more than willing. And, we joke with him all the time, and we've told you about it. We joke about, the constant Philip Forsberg question. And it seemed like this week he was embracing that question. He wanted to go there this week. He wanted to talk about Philip Forsberg. He wanted to make it abundantly clear that he wants a deal done, a deal in place or done by the trading deadline. Are you hearing anything on that front?
I believe that, I don't think he's lying to you. It's probably not a good idea for me to come on radio in Nashville and say David Poyle's lying to your listeners. It's probably not a good call for me. I think he's telling you the truth. I think he would like to have, for me, I remember talking about this with one GM once, a pretty experienced GM. And he said to me, here's my rules. And I'll tell you these once, and so you'll always know when you're dealing with me what you feel. He says, number one, if I think we can win the Stanley Cup, I'm not trading anybody I think we need, even if they're UFAs. I think it's so hard to win the Stanley Cup. If you have a chance to win it, you go for it, regardless of what it means for your future, okay? He says, if I don't think I can win the Stanley Cup and I've got a key UFA, I have to believe at the deadline that I can sign him. If I ever trade a guy at the deadline who's a big player for us, it's because I get an offer I can't refuse, or I just don't believe I can sign the player. And so, that's the way and I've learned that a lot of people kind of think similarly to that. I don't know if Nashville believes they can win the Stanley Cup this year. I don't know if they'll admit it, but I think they would say we've taken a huge step, and if we get in, we'll see what we can have, what happens. But I'm not sure they're sitting there thinking and saying we're going to win the Stanley Cup this year. If you were to tell me that David Poyle said, I would like to know that I can re-sign Philip Forsberg, I would believe that. So to me, he wants to know at the deadline, can I sign this guy? And if the answer is no, then I would believe he would consider trading him.
So we kind of tossed this around the room, and so I want you to weigh in on it. Ranking these three, I guess the way I phrased it is these are the three big items that David Poyle has to discuss with Forsberg's agent.
Yeah.
Money, term, and trade protection, right? Those are the big three. And so I asked everybody to rank them in order of easiest to hardest. So how would you do easiest to hardest of the big three? Which one is the easiest one to come to the conclusion, you think, with his agent?
For me, it's term, because how old's Forsberg? 27?
Yeah. So that's what we said. Yes. Yeah.
Because he's not signing a 4-year deal.
Correct.
Unless for some reason that I'm not aware of, he says, I'd like to try another contract when I'm 31. So
we agree. We all agreed, without a doubt, the easiest one is he's getting a max deal. I mean, he's getting a max deal here or somewhere else. So, okay, we're all in agreement there. Now, this was the one where we all kind of differed. So what would you have number 2 as the easiest, and which one's the hardest?
I would say I would say the easiest is going to be, look, he's going to get some level of no trade protection. Like, I know the Predators haven't liked that for a long time, but they did it for Yossi, and they're going to have to do it for Forsberg. So I actually think that it's not what they like to do, but you've set the example, and you have to come to it. Like, especially, and we've talked about the Ryan Ellis deal, right? One of the best advantages of Tennessee is you guys are a no-tax state. And I think that the players who sign there, a number of them have taken like a little bit less, or they base their salary on we're in a no-tax state, and then you get traded to a tax state, and boy, it makes them goofy. And I think anybody would understand that. So I actually think that is going to be the second easiest thing to do, because I think they'll recognize that it matters. They'll recognize that they've done it for Yossi, and Forsberg's a franchise icon, and maybe they're going to have – I think the issue might be what exactly the protection is, but I just can't see them not understanding that they're going to have to do it to a similar level, if not the same as what Yossi got.
Okay, the two of us –
I got to think that they know that.
I completely agree. The two of us are thinking alike. I said the same thing, basically saying both camps know how each other feels about this. David Poile, they know how David Poile has operated over the years. They know they know how this works with the Predators organization. Doesn't mean that they're coming off, but they know that they're going to have to work with him. They're not going to get exactly what they want. David Poile, on the other hand, knows exactly that they're not going to just say, okay, fine, you don't do that, so it's no big deal. He's going to have to also, right? So they both know they're going to have to give a little, right? And so that's why I think it was going to be the second easiest. I think money is going to be, the money is going to be the hardest one to come to.
I agree with you. I think it's the toughest one, because number one, I could see them saying, look, Yossi's our captain. He's our highest paid player.
Yep, that's right.
And to be honest, like after Saros, Yossi's the MVP, right?
Yep.
So, now and then it'll come down to how Forsberg feels about that. He could say, and also don't forget the cap is tighter now. Everybody thought the cap was going to certain places. We know it's not. So that's another challenge. And I'm sure that the Predators will say, and Forsberg will say, look, that deal was signed 2 years ago. It doesn't matter anymore. Now there's plenty of deals where players have signed big numbers and other people have left over it, or maybe he'll be happy with the number. I don't know. But I'm sure the agent will get in there, because that's what the agent's paid to do, is say, well, you know what, I know that the cap doesn't move up, but that was signed a couple of years ago, and this is the way it goes. And eventually, they'll have to make a decision. But I do think that the actual number might be the toughest thing to get to.
Yep, we're in agreement. Hey, good stuff as always. Thanks for doing this. Have a great rest of your week, and we'll do it next Thursday.
All right, guys. Have a great weekend.
Elliot Friedman, you do the same. He's Radio Gold every Thursday on this program starting at 1 o'clock, and he's presented by Bank of England Mortgage, and we appreciate him joining us as always. Let me talk to you about my friends at Cool Springs MD. They're my friends because I've been going there for years, and they've been helping me for years become healthier and happier. They've improved my quality of life, and they can do the same for you. And they do so many things under one roof. So, if I can talk to a lot of different categories, like maybe right now you're not satisfied with your weight. You would love to shed some pounds, as hopefully the warmer temperatures are coming just around the corner, and you'd like to shed some pounds. Well, weight loss management is important to them. They've got programs and products and people that can get you back on track and headed in the right direction. Your appearance is important. I hope so. At least it is to me. Rejuvenation is something they can discuss with you. PRP, hair removal, Botox. They understand it gets tougher as we all get older. And finally, hormone therapy is another thing they do under their roof. And if you've never had your levels checked, do you realize that they go down as you age? And when they go down, that can affect your drive. It can affect your energy. It can affect your mood. And if something like that has been going on with you, we're trying to figure out what's going on. I don't feel like myself. I feel a little bit off. Well, they'll be more than happy to discuss BHRT, testosterone, estrogen. They do it all, and they do it all under one roof out there in Cool Springs at 16 42 Westgate Circle. If you want to learn everything about them, just go to their website, coolspringsmd.com, or you can always pick up the phone and schedule an appointment or consultation by dialing this number, 615-283-7291. That's 283-7291.
Tune in every Wednesday at 4:30 p.m. for Nashville's own Jason Fitz with Jarrett Stillman and company. Fitz started his sports talk career right here on 102.5 The Game, and now he anchors shows for ESPN. Jason Fitz is brought to you by Blood Assurance. Give blood. Give local. Give life.
It's Family Leisure's President's Day sale.
Wait, President's Day?
Well, it's in honor of all our presidents, and it means great deals for everyone.
Okay, like what?
Well, pools and spas for one. Family Leisure has the largest selection and guarantees the lowest prices anywhere.
What about grills and grill islands?
Of course, everything is on sale for 4 days at Family Leisure, just in time for spring.
Family Leisure, both locations, Antioch and Franklin.
Since their doors opened in 1898 in England, Arkansas, Bank of England Mortgage has been providing down-home exceptional service. Bank of England's success is due to the talent of their loan officers and their access to hundreds of mortgage products at the industry's best pricing. Bank of England Mortgage has 3 Middle Tennessee locations ready to serve you. Go to BOE1214.com or call 615-823-1215. Bank of England Mortgage is a division of Bank of England Mortgage. Equal housing lender, member FDIC, NMLS 418-481.
If you suffer from chronic joint pain, don't assume that steroid shots, pain pills, and surgery are your only options. You can call now to get real, lasting, life-changing relief from QC Kinetics. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in using biologic therapies to repair damaged tissue in your aching joints. The success rate is staggering. People with knee and back pain, shoulder pain, hip pain, they're moving again, enjoying life again with help from QC Kinetics. This advanced, unique treatment protocol uses natural biologic agents, mostly from your own body. These powerful, highly concentrated growth factors are put directly into your affected joint, going to work to soothe the inflammation and restore damaged tissue. A truly regenerative treatment. No surgery, no drugs, no downtime. Finally, a new, different, highly successful approach to dealing with joint pain. Is it time you got a second opinion? Call the local medical professionals at QC Kinetics now. 615-249-4024. 615-249-4024. That's 615-249-4024 for QC Kinetics.
ESPN's Teron Davenport breaks down the Titans like no other.
On the field chemistry, I don't think it's going to be a problem. It's just going to be a process.
Catch TD Mondays at 11, Thursdays at 3, and Fridays at 8. Plus, the Talking with TD podcast drops every Wednesday.
When you draft players, it's not just for one season, it's for a career.
Presented by FreedomTireGuys.com, Nashville's premier mobile tire company. Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Hey, Nashville, this is Sean Henry. You're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Thank you, Sean. Go to theGameNashville.com/deals to check out Nashville's best deals right now. Deals in place include $50 off Woodhouse Spa, half off dining at Mainstay and Hard Rock Cafe, half off Brooklyn Bowl, plus $50 free with a purchase of $100 in downtown dollars. Check out these deals at theGameNashville.com/deals. Darren McFarland, Derek Mason with you. Willie has left to head to the airport.
Left the building.
He's left the building.
Yeah, well, it's not raining anymore, so hopefully they're able to take off without any interruptions from the weather.
I hesitated bringing that up earlier because I'm like, but I would not feel comfortable. I would not be wanting to take off with these gusty winds.
Well, I mean, I guess if you're going to do it, you better do it now.
I guess so.
Yeah.
The question is this just here or is it, would it be, is it going to be bumpy all the way to Raleigh? I don't know. I don't have a clue.
Ain't nothing like a bumpy ride.
It's the worst.
Yeah.
At least for me. I don't know how you are on planes, but.
No, it's the same
I'd rather
thing.
be on a plane than long travel in a car, but I would like for it just to be smooth.
Yeah. Me too. But I'm trying to figure out why, like, when there is some turbulence, that I grab onto the armrest like tighter. Like,
right.
Why?
Yeah, me too. What's that going to do?
Exactly.
I do the same thing. I mean, like, what's that going to do? Like, I do the same thing. Like,
it does nothing.
Oh, that's going to change something? Gripping. The armrest tighter.
Like the elements around the plane knows that you're gripping the armrest tighter so it calms down.
Tight grip, tight grip. Ease up, guys. Ease up. Ease up.
I never understood that. I'm
I
sure
know.
a lot of people do it.
I know. I do the same thing, and it's like, why? That's not changing anything. What are you doing? Rick in Springfield on our text line from not Rick Springfield, Rick in Springfield.
I thought you said
or
Rick
no,
Springfield.
Rick in Clarksville. Sorry, Rick in Clarksville.
Man, Springfield.
Wouldn't that be
isn't
awesome?
Isn't
Rick
that the,
in Springfield?
What is the Simpsons? Yeah, Rick in Springfield.
We have Springfield and Shelbyville around here, but they're never
Yeah.
in the same division for football. I always want them to line up so we could have a Simpsons Bowl, but it never happens.
Never works, does it?
Yeah.
Rick in Clarksville wants to know on our text line, can someone fix the squeaky door? It's not the door. It's a chair.
Yeah, it's the chair every
It's
time.
the chair.
And I'm trying to sit like still, but you just can't sit still. And every movement you make is like. So I'm sorry, Rick. I'm gonna give me some WD-40 and put it on it.
Yeah, we need to fix the chair. The chair is very
my
squeaky.
bad.
Very squeaky.
So we'll get it done. Don't worry about it. We'll get it fixed.
We'll get working on that.
Or
another one. Let's see who this is. Leave your name. Come on, so we. Let's see. Looks like Jonathan from East Nashville. I have to go through previous texts to see.
He's nasty.
D-Mace, do you have any memorable plane rides as a player where you thought you were going to die?
Oh my goodness, yes. I've had several. Actually, we had to, and it wasn't because of the turbulence, but we had to make a emergency stop. One of the players, I think he hurt himself in the game. He hurt his ribs. And I guess the pressure from, being up so high, he couldn't breathe. So we had to land. They had to take him to the hospital. And then we ended up leaving. And I think he ended up, like a couple of days later, ended up coming back to Baltimore. But I'm trying to remember. Yeah, I think I was here. I forgot where we were coming from. And you're talking about, turbulence. It was. I think everybody felt the plane was just going to fall out the sky. It was that bad. Never been on a plane ride like that.
Was it quiet?
Oh, yeah, it was quiet. But then at first it starts off as, whoa, yeah.
Right.
Ah, and then it goes on for a little longer and people get a little nervous. Then they see, the stewardess. They everybody sit down, and everybody be quiet. Then everybody in the cabin just like, okay, hold on. It's going to be a bumpy ride.
So you had to do an emergency landing, you said?
Yeah.
Or that was the previous.
Yeah, that was the previous one. Yeah.
So
This one, we didn't have to, but it was I forget where we were coming from. It wasn't a long flight, but, man, it was a bumpy ride back to Nashville.
Has anybody out there, and you can either call in or text in, has anybody had to do the emergency landing because, like something's wrong with the plane? And the captain's like, yeah, we're going to have to land in, St. Louis. I know we're going to Denver, but something's wrong. We need to land in St. Louis. Has anybody ever had that happen? I've never experienced that. Mm-hmm. I've experienced something was going on with we couldn't land, and so you just keep circling.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we've had that.
You always, you've heard the reference. Hey, land the plane. I've had that actually happen literally. Like it's like, oh, could you land are we going to run out of gas? Like how much longer are we going to keep doing laps around the airport? I have had that happen, but I've never landed somewhere else because something was wrong.
No, never. Man, I'm trying to think. Have we ever had that? I know and this was recently. This wasn't that long ago, and maybe a year or two ago, where we were pulling out and we were getting ready to taxi to take off, and we had to turn back around and come back because the landing gear didn't it wouldn't go up or come.
Yeah.
It was something was wrong with the landing gear, so they brought us back in. And what baffles me is that people were complaining. I'm like, why are y'all complaining? Like, seriously. So y'all want to get in the air and get to your destination and can't land? I never understood that. People mad. I know you want to get to your next destination, but don't you want to get there safely? Bunch of people complaining.
So. Yeah, I would think so.
I'm like, man, chill out. Chill out. So
I one time, my stepfather he had his pilot license, and he took me up in a Cessna.
Mm-hmm.
And
nope.
That's the way I felt after that one. First time up with him, and the wheels wouldn't come down for landing.
Wow.
And so we thought they did have the emergency vehicles out.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, I think I'm going to have to land without the wheels. And I was like, no, you're not. What are you talking about? No, you're not. They wouldn't go down. They would not go down. And even they had like a manual crank, and it wasn't working either. Well, for some reason, it worked. I don't know why. Like he was like, just you need to brace. Like, I think we're going to have to land without the wheels. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what have I done? Like, why did I agree to do this? This is like the dumbest thing ever. And he got the wheels to come down, and luckily, like I said, the emergency, he had already, radioed in, like, we're having trouble, can't get the wheels down, blah, blah, blah. They were already out preparing for, us landing without wheels, and luckily they came down. And, I told him, I was like, thank you. I was like, thank you. And I was like, and I'm never going back up with you again, ever.
Oh, I don't blame you.
Ever.
Don't blame you. I don't know why you went up there in the first place.
I don't either. And I questioned it the whole time. I was like, so stupid. Why did I let him talk me into this? Why? Why would I get in this little plane? Andrew on our text line says, his in-laws were flying over the Pacific on the way to Hawaii, and they were about halfway there, but had to turn back to Los Angeles to fix a part and try again.
Oh, I think I ought to get off that plane.
Let me tell you something. If we were out over the ocean and they were saying they were having problems, I'm just telling you, I'd be a wreck.
Oh, yeah. And once we land back in L.A., I'd have been like, we're cutting this trip short.
There's no way I'm getting right. I'm going to figure out another way. Either I'm going to figure out another way to get there, which I don't know how, because you've got to fly over the water to get to Hawaii, or I'm just bagging the trip.
That's a sign right there.
Right. It may be right. It may be. Maybe it's not meant to be. Me in Hawaii.
I'd have been like, I'm out of here.
Because I don't want to be hearing about plane trouble out over the Pacific, okay?
No.
That's a no. Let's go to Donnie on our phone line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com.
Yeah, I had a scare just recently landing in Texarkana, Texas, and heard of this happening before. The pilot pulled up at the last second, and as we circled around, he made the announcement. Nobody knew what happened, but there were a herd of deer that were on the runway just before we touched down.
Oh, that wouldn't have been good.
Oh, my. Wow. I've never heard of that.
Yeah, me either. Gosh.
Was there not a deer crossing sign?
Those deers were
near the runway.
You know what? Those deers were like, let's watch this. Y'all want to see me make a plane? Go back up in the air. Watch this. A bunch of them just darted out. Man, that had to be scary. Goodness. Man.
This is cool. Neely in Bellevue says his airplane story is 2 years ago. He's flying back from Las Vegas, and he was in the B boarding group on Southwest, right? We all can relate to that. And sure enough, Derrick Henry was right behind him in line.
Mm-hmm.
I sat next to him on the plane. Guess that shows what a non-diva he is.
No, I ain't trying to get in the B boarding pass. I'm not a diva, but I ain't trying to get in the B boarding pass. I'm just not, man.
That must have been before. Well, it was. That was before his 2,000-yard season.
Exactly.
Yeah, he's not doing B boarding group.
I'm up. I'm waiting till either I do it when I'm making a flight, or I wait till I get to the gate to the gate, and it only costs like $20. I think it's $20 to upgrade.
Right.
That's when I'm upgrading it. I'm not getting the B. It's just I want to be able to. If I want to sit in the back, I want to have that choice. But I don't want to be walking down the aisle and people looking at me crazy like, "Don't sit here, don't sit here," or that middle seat's right there. I'm like, nah. I get an A-board pass. I find some way. I'm that guy that's on as soon as I can be. Like if my flight leaves, say tomorrow at 2:00. I am on at 1:59 today trying to get my boarding pass.
Well, what I've realized is now because you can upgrade, so many people upgrade that it's like it doesn't matter. You get on there right at the time and you're already in B because there's been so many people that have upgraded.
No, I pay for the early, what is it, the early bird special?
Yeah.
So it guarantees you
correct
somewhere in that A range.
That's right.
That's right. You might be A60, but it's still your A.
That's right.
So
I like it. All right, we'll come back. We'll wrap up Thursday's edition of Darren, Daunic, and Chase and D-Mace next.
So, what is Jared Stillman going to say this afternoon?
You got to play if you want to earn $14.6 million next year.
Oh, brother, here we go.
But I'm done on investing money in dudes that can't get on the field.
Tune in to Stillman and Company, weekday afternoons from 2 to 6.
This is some serious stuff right here.
Delivered by TriStar Moving on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN.
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app. Watch live on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube.
From Fox 17 News, this is a Code Red weather alert.
I'm Fox 17 News Code Red meteorologist Dan Guthrie. Strong to severe storms will be possible this afternoon. Main threat will be damaging winds and a few brief spin-up tornadoes, so stay weather aware.
This weather report brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
Hey guys, it's Mike from Newton Chevrolet Buick GMC. Can you feel that? Love is in the air. Maybe it's love for your significant other. Maybe it's love for Rome, your Bernese mountain dog. Maybe it's just love for chocolate. Wherever that love falls, this is the time to take it all in. But maybe take less of the chocolate in. So now that all the mushy stuff is out of the way, I'm going to tell you what we love. We love to help you. We love helping you find a new car when you need one. We love helping you keep your car running smooth with amazing service. We love partnering with you in the community to make a positive impact. Newton loves to help. We have a great selection of pre-loved vehicles on the lot for you right now. You can shop online and even start working your deal right now from your phone with Newton FastPass. Visit NewtonChevroletBuickGMC.com to shop or schedule service today. For the love of chocolate, see website for details.
It's the official Bud Light Preds watch party as your Nashville Predators take on the Carolina Hurricanes this Friday. Puck drops at 6 p.m., but the party starts at 5:30 with all kinds of specials. See you at headquarters, Beercade, downtown Nashville on 2nd Avenue. Go Preds!
From curriculum-based literacy programs and sport leagues to college tours and workforce readiness tracks, Boys and Girls Clubs of Middle Tennessee provide a safe place where youth gain the tools to learn, lead, and reach their full potential. You can support local youth and their great futures by donating at bgcmt.org.
Parman Tractor and Equipment is your one-stop tractor and equipment solution, and Middle Tennessee's Link Belt and Takeuchi dealer. Rent or purchase a track loader, mini excavator, large excavators for your job site, or something in between. Parman is now hiring and seeking qualified candidates for construction equipment truck drivers, service technicians, and more. Apply at parmantractor.com or call 615-865-7800. Come be an employee owner with the Parman team, your Middle Tennessee Link Belt and Takeuchi dealer.
At Copper Branch, they live life to the fullest. Food is your energy and your life. Located in the heart of downtown Nashville, their goal is to serve you, your friends, and family quality, great-tasting, plant-based power foods. Visit Copper Branch at 601 Church Street for breakfast, lunch, and dinner with convenient and validated parking during library hours, and download their app for curbside pickup. Or come out for songwriter and live music nights several times throughout the week to empower, energize, and feel your best. Visit Copper Branch today.
Interact with Darren, Daunic, and Chase. Call or text the show at 615-737-1025. Driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com.
Hey, if you're looking for a place to hang tomorrow night and watch the Predators and Hurricanes in Raleigh, there's There's a Bud Light watch party at Headquarters Beercade. Yeah, you can hang out there. Drink specials. Enter a chance to win Future Predators tickets. Remember, puck drops at 6 o'clock. And that location, the exact location, is 114 2nd Avenue South downtown. So tomorrow night. The fun begins at 5:30 if you want to get there a little bit early and get your seat. Back here on Darren, Daunic, and Chase. Darren McFarland and Derek Mason with you. Did you get a chance last night to watch Auburn and Vanderbilt in the nightcap?
No, I didn't get a chance. I'm getting old. As I get older, I go to sleep a little bit earlier now.
Good Lord, Derek. What time are you going to bed?
I don't catch it.
My goodness. 8 o'clock game's too late for you?
Yeah. No, I wasn't too late.
Okay.
No, but I just didn't catch it yesterday.
Vandy was down 4 at the half, and they were hanging. They were actually up for a good portion of the first half. And just watching this Auburn team, they're just legit. I mean, they really are. They've got players. I mean, Walker Kessler, man, do they have the length between Smith and Kessler? Holy cow! They just come in waves, and they just open it up in the second half. Now, I think the final score was 94-80, but really, for the most part, Auburn was leading. They were, they kind of pulled away. You could just tell they just kept pulling away. They're just so talented. They were up basically 18, most of the second half. But Jabari Smith and Kessler, they're so good. Jabari Smith is going to be he's going to be the first, second, or third pick in the draft for sure. There's no doubt in my mind. He had 31 last night.
Do they remind you, and I've seen Auburn play, and I like the way they're coached. I mean, Bruce Pearl's doing an excellent job down there, and he has been since he's gotten there. But it just, with the free-flowing, the way that they play is so free-flowing, great defense. It reminds me a little, and I could be wrong on this, but it reminds me a little bit of that UNLV team when they played great defense, but man, their offense was just coming in waves. They never let up.
Yep. And
that's what this Auburn team reminds me of. It's like they never just let up. They just keep going and going and going. They don't mind shooting, off balance 3-pointers or taking 3-pointers because they know they're going to get many more, by the way they play their defense. They're just this up-tempo, high-powered offense.
Yeah, that's what it felt like the whole night. It was like, even when Vanderbilt was playing well and or in the lead, or they were just holding their own. It's just like, can they keep this up? Can they do this for 40 minutes? Like it was like I just kept going. I just don't think so. I don't think they're just not talented enough to stay with this team for 40 minutes. And the other element that's not going to help Auburn when they get to the SEC tournament, because it's in Tampa this year, or the NCAA tournament, is how stinking good they are at home. I mean, that's another thing. Like Bruce Pearl, no surprise, has created quite the home court advantage. I mean, they're geeked. Like they actually care about Auburn basketball. They pack that place, and it's loud, and it's a crazy, college basketball venue, and they make it difficult on the opponent, and they just don't lose at home. They're really, really good at home. And so, like I said, it won't help them in the tournament or the tournaments when we get to that point, which is coming up here soon. But
I'm sure their fans are going to travel.
Oh, yeah.
They are.
Yeah, of course. They will. There's no doubt about it. But, not that I didn't know this, but that was like I really focused on that game last night just to make sure that, is this team really for real? Yeah, they're for real. Like this, they get the right bounces. You're going to need a break, right, in the NCAA tournament. You don't ever cruise. Like you're going to have that game where you're going to need the lucky bounce or the lucky call or something go your way. If it does, they're a team that can definitely go the distance.
Or they're just going to have to have a bad shooting night.
Or that, which it happens.
Uh-huh.
I mean, they beat Missouri by a point. I mean, in the 50s, so it happens. Missouri's also pretty good defensively, too. But that'll do it for our show today. Good show. Enjoy the rest of your day. Remember, stay cognizant of the weather. Not sure